seized 50 pounds of marijuana, 14 guns, and 46 grand in cash this week. His young daughter was also taken from the home, adding neglect charges to the list. A man from Indianapolis has been sentenced to nearly 50 years in prison for murder. Harrison Silcox reports.
Julius Beverly was given a 48-year prison sentence after being convicted on 2 counts of murder and robbery last December. Court documents say security footage caught Beverly shooting and killing DeKylan White in September of 2022. The whole thing happened in White's car, which is parked at a convenience store off North High School Road on the northwest side. Beverly was found guilty after a 2-day trial. Marion County Prosecutor Ryan Mears says the two were friends. Harrison Silcox, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Stricter ordinances on street racing and spinning in Indianapolis could soon be extended to state law. It's been an issue in Indy since the pandemic.
It's an organized effort, and not everyone that is involved in this activity is from Indiana. And they're certainly not just from Indianapolis. They come from all over.
IMPD Chief Chris Bailey says street takeovers are becoming a statewide issue, and he wants state lawmakers to pass a bill at making it easier to seize someone's car and stiffen the penalties for street racing and or spinning. It passed a state Senate committee on Tuesday. The Indiana Pacers get back at it tonight after their trip to Paris last week. They face the Detroit Pistons this evening at 7 o'clock. They are 5th in the Eastern Conference at 25-20. Traffic on the 5s, Matt Bear.
All right, Kurt, northbound 465, stop and go traffic, 86th Street up to 865. Crash on the east side, this is 16th at Emerson Avenue. Traffic sponsored by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off and free UPS shipping and code radio. And get an extra 5% off. I'm Matt Bear on the 5s at WIBC Traffic.
There's a price war in the insurance business, and you may be paying too much. Call the Term Lifeline right now and see if you can save 40%. $500,000 plans and up, that's our specialty. Even great smokers' rates. Protect your family today. Call the Term Lifeline right now for a free quote. 866-549-TERM, 866-549-TERM, 866-549-TERM.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks VapoStick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick. And it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks VapoStick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And when you need more comfort for yourself, try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors. Use as directed. VapoStick for use ages 4 and up. Vapo Shower Max use for adults only.
The forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Lots of sunshine today, breezy conditions at times, but not too bad this afternoon. A high of 45, mainly clear, quiet, and a bit colder overnight, a low of 26. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Marcus Bailey for 93 WIBC.
38 and mostly sunny downtown. I'm Kurt Darling on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Good morning. It is Wednesday, January 29th. It is 6 minutes after 9 with Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. So our new governor delivers his first State of the State speech tonight. The address is set for 7 p.m. Braun's team has not laid out expectations for the speech, but he has signed several executive orders in his first 3 weeks. Most recently, new rules compelling state law enforcement agencies to assist in federal agencies in immigration matters. However, we expect that he will concentrate, at least for a moment, on property tax reform.
I may be dead by the end of this show, Casey, but I was not missing this show today because this is the day I've waited 8 years. I mean, we finally have. So Holcomb was on with Hammer and Nigel yesterday, or Braun was on with Hammer and Nigel yesterday.
Yeah.
And it was so refreshing to feel like you had a competent adult in charge of the state. Now to hear him talk about priority issues, how he works through things, how he's going to solve these issues. Because for the past 12 years, we have had two children, two disinterested clown children running the state who are interested in the title of being governor, who are interested in walking around with brigades around them, going to ribbon cuttings, boosting their profile, and not actually effectively running the state. And you have seen over the past 12 years of Pence and then Holcomb, this state run into the gutter on a whole bunch of different levels, and you just feel like there's a new sheriff in charge, and things are going to get better.
Let's tell our listeners, you sound worse than what you say you feel.
That's right. I sound. So when you have a 19-month-old, it's just a secular cycle of sickness.
A circle?
That's what of one sickness to the next. And this one, in terms of actual damage, is relatively calm. Like I'm not coughing up a lung. I'm not anything where I was last week. I'm fine. I just sound bad. I think this is nothing more than a head cold. But I was not missing work today. Oh no. This is my day. I mean,
this is it.
We're finally going to have a robust public display of desire to fix the property tax system in this state, which has been 15 years in the making. And so I'm very optimistic about this speech tonight.
So Governor Braun was on with Hammer and Nigel yesterday, and they did talk about property taxes. Your name came up.
Oh, how exciting.
And again, he admits that, yep, he listens.
Well, I think, too, I heard it for 2 years, and I don't want to give Rob too much credit.
Please don't.
Because I'm sure he
Please
will.
don't.
We're not expecting that.
No.
We're not expecting you to do that at all.
But he was loud on the issue. And, of course, I'm staying here when I'm in the Indy area, listening to the shows, all of them. And I heard it for 2 years. It's such a tough thing to get done right, to correct it. There will be legislators that are going to be sympathetic towards the jurisdictions that should have exercised a little more responsibility for their own taxpayers. So what we end up with hopefully is going to be something that resets it, caps it going forward, and makes it difficult to sneak in a referendum if you want more. And I think we've probably then addressed the three areas that needed to be spruced up on property tax.
Yeah. And to his credit, Braun has not wavered on this. He has stayed consistent, which is very rare for a politician, that they were going to accomplish these things. And tonight is a big opportunity for him to lay out to the General Assembly, because we've been told that behind closed doors, these guys admit we're right. This whole system is broken, and these local governments are totally out of control. And the challenge now becomes to motivate them publicly, to put the public, the taxpayers, ahead of these influential local government people. And that's part of the sales pitch tonight, is to lay that out.
Yep, and I think we're going to hear more of that. That was kind of him getting the talking points out, and he did it on Hammer and Nigel's show, and that's probably the same thing he's going to say tonight. It was interesting that he said these local jurisdictions have not been responsible.
No, they haven't.
He's putting the onus back on the local governments.
And that's the conversation that has not been had over the past, really 12 years, but certainly in the past 8 years under Holcomb. There was no admonishment of, hey, like, these people are just throwing money at stuff. When you're spending $55 million on a swimming pool, that's not teaching one kid to learn to read or write or do science experiments or mathematics or even a foreign language. That's grandiose. It's excess. It's because we can. When you're building a 10,000-person open-seat arena for a soccer team as a municipality, that's not a police officer. That's not a road. It's not a bridge. It's not a sidewalk. It's not water. It's excess. It's grandiose, right? The $12 million tennis courts, we lay all these out all the time, right? Of all of these things. We're apparently so rich where I live that we can just spend $4 million and let
on a patch of grass.
Right, and just let it sit empty for 3 years, right?
Yeah.
So cut the crap that police are going to get fired if we reset these property tax rates to something. They're still egregious. It's not like we're solving the issue, but we're getting people out of the crisis position.
So Mike Braun was on Fox Business this morning, and he was talking about things that he's accomplished during his first couple of weeks as governor. He mentioned U.S. data centers, cutting healthcare costs, and also his handling of illegal immigration. He desperately says that he wants healthcare industry to reform itself. I was a little nervous because He didn't mention property taxes when he was on Fox this morning. However, I know he's going to mention it tonight during the State of the State address.
Yeah, so one of the things, so he did this executive order yesterday that got a lot of attention relating to illegal immigration. And I will say Braun has done more in 2 weeks than Holcomb did in 8 years. I mean, certainly almost all of Holcomb's stuff was damaging to the taxpayer, damaging to the state. And when you look at what Braun has done, it's refreshing to have some guy that actually gives a damn about the people of the state and not just some big business buddies or foreign corporations. Somebody who's actually appears to be standing up for the people of Indiana.
Have you heard anything about the IEDC since Governor Braun has been elected?
You know, it's been very quiet, right?
Uh-huh.
And look,
isn't that something?
We told the people the LEAP thing is already out of the barn, right? You're not going to put that back in. They're too far down the road. They're not going to just like sell that land off. It's just simply not going to happen. But the goal should be going forward to prevent those things from happening going forward. Make that LEAP district as effective and efficient and most importantly profitable for the taxpayer as you can, and then correct it going forward. And I am cautiously optimistic that Braun is going to try to do those things.
So Caroline Leavitt had her first press conference. She is the White House press secretary, and she had a lot of things to say that we'll review coming up. From 93 WIBC.
Galloway throws up that little runner and knocks it down. Mackenzie Ibako for three. Renew turns around, puts it up, and got it! Leo comes up with a loose ball and lays it in, and is fouled!
IU heads to Mackey Arena to take on the Boilermakers Friday night.
Unbelievable play by
John Herrick has the pregame at 7. Don Fisher with the tip at 8.
You will let go a three-pointer and
on your home for IU basketball. 93 WIBC.
AAA not only is the best at helping you out with flat tires, roadside assistance, replacing my dead batteries at work, but they can also plan some amazing vacations. And with all this snow and ice, I'm ready for a trip to Universal Studios with the family in Florida. You know what I mean? No matter where you're headed, AAA can help you get the best price on your next vacation at the AAA Travel Expo. Saturday, February 22nd at the Ritz-Charles in Carmel.
It's free. You don't even have to be a AAA member to attend. Although members love additional benefits like 24/7 365 roadside assistance. So save the date right now for the AAA Travel Expo 2025, Saturday, February 22nd at the Ritz-Charles in Carmel. Find your dream vacation at Indiana's favorite travel show. Bring a friend and enjoy the day. Get more information and pre-register for your chance to win a $500 AAA travel voucher at AAA.com/expo.
It's time now to throw out your overpriced big wireless contract, throw it overboard with a qualifying plan of just $45 a month. You can choose a free iPhone 14 or free Samsung Galaxy. You get unlimited talk, unlimited text, 25 gigs of data, mobile hotspot. You get all of it. Also, they use the same 5G network. So get your free iPhone 14 or your Samsung Galaxy. You simply dial pound 250. You say the keyword SAVE NOW from Pure Talk, America's wireless company.
Big Joe here for your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer, B&W HVAC Plumbing and Electrical.
With a B&W Premier Club membership, you'll stay ahead of breakdowns and costly repairs. Our members get routine maintenance, priority scheduling, and exclusive discounts, saving you money and keeping your family comfortable all season long. Visit bplusw.com or call 317-214-0108 for more information.
B&W HVAC Plumbing and Electrical, your American Standard dealer since 1961.
Why not start 2025 with a great new deal from Tom Roush Lincoln? Select 2024 Lincoln Navigators, now $12,000 off, and get 0% for 72 months. How about an all-new 2024 Lincoln Nautilus, now $6,000 off with rates starting at 4.9% for 60 months. So start the new year with a new car from Tom Roush Lincoln in Fishers.
Lincoln Navigator MSRP $104,825. Lincoln Nautilus MSRP $61,695. Offers good through January 31st, 2025. Subject to credit approval. See dealer for complete offer details.
Wealth-changing question. Has your advisor created a portfolio based only on your age and risk tolerance? That's simply not good enough. Your money deserves better, and so do you. At Creative Planning, our private wealth managers learn about you first, and then they create a customized plan and portfolio by partnering with our in-house money managers, accountants, and attorneys. Don't settle for a standard portfolio. Book your free meeting today at creativeplanning.com. Create a planning, a richer way to wealth.
For all your home's heating, plumbing, and drain needs, remember the man for all seasons. Chapman. Furnace tune-ups right now, only $89. Schedule online today at chapmanheating.com. That's chapmanheating.com.
There's a new face in the White House press room. Her name is Caroline Leavitt. She made her debut as the White House press secretary for Donald Trump's second term. She promised frequent communication with the press. She also answered questions about the freeze on federal grants and the administration's effort to deport illegals. And she said her role is to translate Trump's messages into policy and the political implications, but also to tell the truth.
No notes.
No binder.
Yeah, no notes. It's
Yeah.
kind of like this, me with this show.
Off the top of her head, right?
Somebody made a binder for her, like you do a template for this show, and then she's just like, nah, that's fine.
I don't need it. I'm good.
I wonder if she was like, before she walks out there, she looks at her people and like, what are we doing today? How we do every segment here. What are we doing?
Well, it was interesting to see the difference between her and Karine Jean-Pierre. Do you remember when Karine Jean-Pierre made her debut? She was like, I realize the importance of me being here. I'm the first Black, African-American, lesbian. And then when Caroline Leavitt walked out, she just said, hi, how we doing? And got down to business.
Well, look, I mean.
She didn't make it about her.
It's, that's a thing. You and I had this conversation. That's a thankless job. And I don't know why any reasonable person would want it. Tony Katz has said for years that was his dream job.
Yeah, I know.
I cannot believe Tony Katz
But
would
he is a little nutty.
Well, but I also can't believe Tony would ever carry water for anybody else. But he's said for years that that's his dream job. You're defending kind of a wild card in Trump, although they were defending a dementia patient for the past 4 years. So I guess a wild card's much better. She did a fine job yesterday. I mean, it sounded like, from what I heard, there were no slip-ups. It seemed like she was totally in control and did a very nice job.
There were quite a few moments I felt like they were trying to have a gotcha moment, and they didn't get her. But here
How old is she?
27.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's interesting because when I was thinking about this before we started the segment. When I was 20, I turned 26 years old. I had a guy tell me he was running for public office at the time. He won his election, and he was actually running for a county prosecutor position. And we were talking about ages, and he said, you know, for me, he's like 26 was the year it all came together for me. Like you're no longer kind of a wacky, goofy kid.
Mm-hmm.
You're figuring out what you want to do in your life. There's some reasonable expectation after you've turned a quarter century years old that you should be able to make relatively smart adult decisions. I'm thinking like, okay, so she's 1 year removed from that. Most people are like, their life is coming together for them. She's the freaking press secretary for the president of the United States.
Yep, she's the youngest person ever appointed to the position. She's also the 6th working mother to hold the position. She had a baby.
She shot out a shorty?
She did right before the assassination attempt on Trump in Butler.
Oh, wow.
So she had a baby right before then.
Well, see, now I feel a little bad, Casey, because we had given her a number. We had assigned her a Broad Ripple number. And then it was not made aware. I mean, so that was, less than a year ago, she shot out the shorty.
Yeah. And right back to work she went.
So that may have altered her
standing.
The photographic appearance, the photographic images that were presented in front of me. We may have to revise the, because you get bonus points for having shot out a shorty. So...
Well, she's not new to it. She interned at the White House in Trump's first term. She was his national spokesperson during his campaign. So she's used to being around him and delivering his message.
You ever think about in life, like I ponder this because I've made so many poor choices, that it took me forever to get where I wanted to go because I walked in a big giant circle versus a straight line. Like nobody ever grabbed, like my mentors were crazy local radio people who were incredibly brilliant in their craft, but like the last people who should have been mentoring young men in their 20s on what is the best path to take in terms of professionalism. Funny, fall over and die funny, yes. Tons of fun, yes. But not the sort of people who should be giving life advice on how to live a productive, meaningful existence. And so I think about I walked in a big giant circle in my life. When if I'd have just walked in a straight, if somebody would have been like, here's how you walk in a straight line, I think of the things I could have achieved. I could have been this person. Instead, it took me to like 36 to figure out how to, stand up straight and get your act together.
Was your frontal lobe not completely developed all the way? It took you a little longer. I had a woman tell me, or her advice to me, she was, Erica Farber was her name, and she was the editor of Radio and Records magazine. I don't know if you remember that publication.
Yeah.
But I asked her one time, how do you do it? How do you do it all? How do you be a working mom and have the career? And she said, you don't.
Yeah.
You got to pick. Because if you focus completely on your career, your family suffers. If you focus completely on your family, your career suffers. So you have to pick. And I said, how do you do it? And she said, I don't have any children.
Oh, yeah, right.
Okay,
well,
it is.
It is interesting, right, how so much of your lot in life is the path that other people plow for you, right? And I'm not like this. Obviously, our country is just scattered with people who had terrible upbringings and went on to do amazing things. I'm not disputing that can happen.
J.D. Vance.
Well, right, and then professional athletes and singers and entertainers and all of these people. I mean, some of our leaders in this country, made great things of themselves. But you really are the path that people set forward for you. Really does oftentimes shape the reality that you have. Like at some point, somebody framed for this woman, and she was able to understand it, that walking on a straight path, right? Getting in these positions, doing these things, ingratiating yourself into some sort of, politics is basically a corporate culture. I mean, you like you said, she was in the Trump administration at 20 whatever years old. That doesn't happen accidentally, right? She was set up into that to walk on that path. Clearly, she's very successful on her own. I'm just saying, if I'd had better mentors, I would have ended up in a much better position.
You're in a fine position right where you are. People count on you every single day. So she was asked about her reporting, and she said that she was going to hold everybody accountable for misinformation.
We know for a fact there have been lies that have been pushed by many legacy media outlets in this country about this president, about his family, and we will not accept that. We will call you out when we feel that your reporting is wrong or there is misinformation about this White House. So yes, I will hold myself to the truth, and I expect everyone in this room to do the same.
One of the more surprising things that she said, I thought was kind of incredible. We talked a lot about the drones that were flying over New Jersey, right?
That's correct.
And she just came out and said, the Biden administration let the whole country freak out about it for weeks about the drones, and were they a threat, knowing full well that they had approved them flying.
And before I turn to questions, I do have news directly from the President of the United States that was just shared with me in the Oval Office from President Trump directly, an update on the New Jersey drones. After research and study, the drones that were flying over New Jersey in large numbers were authorized to be flown by the FAA for research and various other reasons. Many of these drones were also hobbyists, recreational, and private individuals that enjoy flying drones. In time, it got worse due to curiosity. This was not the enemy. A statement from the President of the United States to start this briefing with some news.
So she said this was not the enemy. The Biden administration, FAA, had approved those drones, and Donald Trump said on, I believe it was January 20th, he asked Susie Wiles, hey, let's find out what's the deal with those drones. And then 8 days later, they come out and they say, nope, not a problem. So why did the Biden administration just help create panic instead of just telling the truth and calming people down? That's ridiculous.
Do you believe that?
That the FAA approved them?
Yeah, do you believe that?
I do believe that the FAA approved them.
Really?
I think they knew all along what they were.
And they just, they had an obvious, reasonable explanation, and they just were like, no, we're not telling people?
Yeah, because she said, they were for research. Now, they're not telling us what the research is.
Well, this is my point, Casey. There's a lot of people who believe those drones were flying over because some sort of nuclear cargo or something went missing. I mean, is that research?
Well, the Biden administration was kind of like, we don't know what's going on.
But that's
when they probably did.
It doesn't make any. Can we talk about her for a second, real quick? Because I was wondering. I'm thinking, okay, like at 27, I'm thinking about the sort of women that I was dating at 27, and you said she's married, and obviously she has a kid, and I'm thinking, like, what would it have been like to be that guy where no matter what you do, you're never going to be the smartest or most important person in your house. And I was like, I wonder what sort of dude she's married to. Are you ready for this?
Did you look it up?
I did.
Okay.
All right. In your mind, do you have in your mind what sort of guy she's married to? Like, let's just see how accurate you can get this. Like,
Yeah.
in your mind.
I'm going to say it's somebody she met in college, and he was a sports guy.
Okay.
And she wanted to be a reporter, so she probably studied journalism. She switched to politics. I'm going to say he's some sort of media guy.
Okay.
Am I close?
All right, Kev, do you have an
Sporty
idea?
media guy.
He was probably in a fraternity, and he's probably involved with politics in some way.
All right, Levitt is married to Nicholas Riccio, a real estate developer.
Oh, wow.
32 years her senior.
Oh,
wow.
We were way off. Okay.
So she, like the rest of the Trump women, have a type, and it's called money.
Mm-hmm.
Lots and lots of money.
He's got a big wallet.
Sorry, Kev, not going to work out for you.
We're going to hear more from her throughout the morning, but up next, we're going to hear from Jim Merritt, and we're going to talk about Mike Braun's State of the State address, which he is delivering tonight. It is Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
There she is, founder and CEO. High five.
Dave can't stop celebrating with every business owner in town.
All right, Baker Man. High five.
He's sharing the excitement of big savings with the Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee.
Up top, Bike Shop.
Yeah. It's 5 years of gig speed internet.
Quick, high five.
5 years of advanced security.
5 years.
And 5 years of a great rate that won't change.
Yeah, law partners. Chamberlain, Messelthorpe, Dubois.
All from the company with 99.9% network reliability. Switch today and get the 5-year price lock guarantee.
5 years.
It's back, but only for a limited time.
Woo!
Powering 5 years of savings, powering possibilities. Comcast Business.
Can't forget you, voiceover guy.
Ah, thanks, Dave.
High five.
Ends 3/9/25. Guaranteed rate applies to monthly service charge for new customers on qualifying internet bundle, excluding taxes and fees. Other restrictions apply.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Come back to the office or resign. Radar is clear. It's sunny and 39 downtown. I'm Kurt Darling. Here's what's trending at 9:30. That's the general message to remote federal workers from President Trump.
Part of that email says, if you resign under this program, you will retain all pay and benefits regardless of your daily workload and will be exempted from all applicable in-person work requirements until September 30th, 2025, or earlier if you choose to accelerate your resignation for any reason. Some back-of-the-napkin math, there are 2 million total federal workers.
Fox's Peter Ducey. President Trump's plan to freeze federal aid is being temporarily blocked by a federal judge on Tuesday. The judge granted an administrative stay, pausing Trump's plans at least through Monday. The freeze was ordered on domestic and foreign federal aid, with Social Security and Medicare not affected. The Federal Reserve is expected to leave interest rates unchanged today. It comes as the Fed weighs how the Trump administration's economic agenda might impact inflation and the economy as a whole. Your opening bell report on 93 WIBC, brought to you by Absolute Wealth Management, LLC. Speaking of the economy, the Dow is down 41 points at the opening bell to 44,990. The NASDAQ is up 31 to 21,613. And the S&P 500 is up 7 to 6,089. I'm Kurt Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Blood, sweat, tears. At Bill Estes, we know it takes hard work and years of doing the right thing to build a business people can depend on. That's why we don't make empty promises and expect your trust. Estes earns it. From Ford F-150s and Toyota Tacomas to Ram 1500s and Chevy Silverados, we have the trucks you'll love at prices you can believe in. But don't just take our word for it. Your trust means something. Estes earns it. BillEstes.com.
Hi, I'm Ken Mears, founder of Great Healthworks, the maker of Omega XL. Folks, if you're searching for an answer to your daily aches, pains, and soreness, then try Omega XL. It's a natural product sourced from a green lip mussel. This oil extract is one of the most powerful, natural joint relief super oils in the world. This one-of-a-kind extract is not found in any other product, and it's backed by over 40 years of clinical research, showing that Omega XL provides relief from joint pain due to inflammation. Stop living in pain. Inflammation is controlled controllable, it's manageable, and it's fixable. Importantly, Omega XL is small, easy to swallow, with no fishy aftertaste. And it works. We've put over 20 years into this quality brand, ensuring that Omega XL makes a difference in your life. Try it, and you won't be disappointed.
Call now for Omega XL's BOGO special. 800-607-2604. That's less than $20 a bottle. Remember, there's a 60-day money-back guarantee. Terms apply. 800-607-2604. 800-607-2604. Or OmegaXL.com/news.
Are you ready to take control of your safety? Premier Arms is the place to consider. They're more than just a gun store. They're a community for empowered women who are dedicated to helping you find the perfect firearm. Hey, it's Casey Daniels. That's how I felt when I shopped at Premier. They treated me with respect, and I know I'll be making another purchase soon. Premier Arms is in Brownsburg. You can find them online, too, at premierarms.com. Their phone number is 317-858-3030.
Book your custom patio project before March 1st and save up to $2,500. Indie Decorative Concrete, the patio experts. Big enough to service, small enough to care.
Tonight down on Union Street, I'm thinking back, baby, you and me.
Casey, tonight's a big night.
Yeah, it is. It's the State of the State address from Governor Mike Braun.
And we've got a guy who has been to, you think you've been to more State of the States than any human in history?
Yes.
You've been
Short
to what?
answer, yes.
30 at least,
Yeah.
maybe more?
And, because people fall away from the scene. And, I've been to plenty of them, and some have been snoozers, some have been very good. I always look forward to Mitch Daniels because he would write them over Thanksgiving and then have it percolate, have it, like a fine meal. He would work on it throughout December, and his speeches were always something was a surprise, and he just gave great speeches because they had a lot of meat in them.
What's your prediction for tonight's speech from Mike Braun?
I think it'll be short and sweet.
We should introduce you, by the way. You're Jim Merritt, 30 years in the Indiana Senate. So I was leading up to that, and Casey's like, I must ask you already. No, go ahead.
Robert.
Yes.
They know.
Yeah, 9:30. But tonight will be a very short and sweet. It'll talk about what he talked about in the campaign to win the governor's chair, and he's going to do what he said he would do, and he'll report. He'll probably have some heroes in the audience that he recognizes, and I think that's always gives a good flavor to the speech. But he'll talk about the budget. He'll talk about property tax reform. He'll talk a little bit, I'm sure, about health care.
Yeah.
Because he worked on that in Congress.
Yeah.
And he may talk a little bit about energy because he was a leader as a U.S. Senator talking about what we're going to be doing in the future.
All right, let's talk about the mechanics of State of the State for a second, shall we? Because yesterday, Casey and I were kind of talking about we should have been invited. And a state rep who will not name sends me a text and goes, yeah, that's horrible. You didn't get invited. Mm-hmm. I thought, okay, I'm going to respond. And I just kind of playfully thought, okay, maybe there's something coming after this because it was period. And I said, yeah, Cousin Eddie should totally be there. And he just responds, ha ha. Like, no, would you like to be my guest? I can help you get a seat.
I thought you were going to say Cousin It.
Yeah.
Too bad for your luck.
Well, when we do the Addams Family, I'm Uncle Fester. But,
okay.
But no, there was no follow-up, like, let me do this because I'm a state rep. How do you get tickets to the State of the State?
Well, first of all,
because Micah, we asked Mike about this yesterday. Same thing. He's like, "Yeah, I'll be sure to pull my ear, and that's a signal to you guys watching on television. No, yeah, man, thanks for helping me get elected. Thanks for all you did. Thanks for being the mouthpiece.
I'm a little disappointed in Micah that he didn't invite you. I think
everybody screws us in the end, Jim, other than you. This is what people use us, and then they're done with us.
Well, there's an overflow, and there are chairs outside the chamber.
Oh, no.
I'm not doing that. There are seats up in the gallery that's really dominated by, appeals court judges, Supreme Court judges, and so there are seats available. And
I want to be down where you used to be. I see you you were like Bob Uecker. You were down there in the front row. I want to be down there in the Merritt seat. How do I get one of those?
run.
Is it open seating? Like, how do you? Is it like going to a Rolling Stones concert where if you have the ticket, you get there 7 hours early and you run?
Well, as you might think, the chamber, the House of Representatives chamber, is dominated by members of the 100 members of the House of Representatives, and most, if not all, the 50 senators come over and they sit in the aisles and they get plastic chairs.
Rob, the people who work tirelessly to make your life better.
No doubt. Okay,
those guys.
But there are also two balconies in the House chamber. One is for the media and their cameras, and the other one is for the statewide candidates, along with Mrs. Braun and Mrs. Micah and
sure. Yes.
I don't know why you're not sitting with Susan.
Well, I mean, it's hard to complain about Micah because he got me front row there at that big Braun ball, and that. I mean, I really just want to go because people would be so mortified around me that they would have to sit by me, that I would sit in the front. I mean, this is like everything else.
If I were governor, you would be recognized up in the balcony with Mrs. Micah.
You would then instruct people to pull a booth on Rob Kendall. He's right there up there in the balcony.
It's a lot like that.
Don't miss.
I don't know. The way you sound right now with this cold, I don't think anybody wants to be near him.
Well, I was pondering taking the day here. So let's talk about this for a second, because obviously Braun is going. Jim Merritt's our guest. Braun's going to property taxes, and he talked about this yesterday with Hammer and Nigel. He's talked about this in other news articles. Property taxes are basically the center point of the speech tonight.
Yes.
And I was going to call in sick today. And I was like, this is my moment.
Yes.
I can't be calling in sick now.
Well, we can't have you sick.
I've been waiting 8 years for this day. This is my moment. He's got to make the case. Let's talk about first. Who's he making the case to tonight?
He's making the case to really everybody. He's reemphasizing what he ran on. And this is perfunctory. Every governor does this. There will be a State of the Judiciary by Chief Rush today, and that's usually not the case. It's usually after the state of the state, and so he's kind of amplifying. And in most governor situations, the governor has this one chance to talk to the 150 in the Indiana General Assembly, and same thing with Chief Rush with the State of the Judiciary. But this is his introduction to the state of Indiana as governor. The inauguration was a lot of pomp and circumstance, but this is getting down to brass tacks. This is his putting his cards on the table. And this is what he's going to work on in the next 3 months.
So the inauguration with pomp and circumstance, so the state of the state is more about governing. But you mentioned it, the state of the judiciary, that happens at 2 o'clock. What is that about?
It really is. It usually, in years past, and I sat through a lot of those, it's about a kind of report of most chief justices are trying to rehab, bring the justice system in the state of Indiana, because they are the lead judges, if you will, for all courts in the state of Indiana, how they're bringing technology to the court, how, they report of what kind of cases and what is actually going on in the judicial system of the state of Indiana.
Have Merritt and I ever told you our state of the state story?
No. You have a story?
The first year Merritt and I were together doing State House happenings, it was Capitol happenings back then. We were on the local station out in Hendricks County. Merritt got us an interview in the governor's office with Holcomb and Loretta Rush ahead of the state of the state and the state of the judiciary, and we were never invited back.
What happened?
That
what did you do? What did you do?
Well,
me. That's what they did. Me. Yeah.
Well, you had a new governor.
Yeah.
This is 2017. And then he listened to us for the next couple of years, and I haven't spoken to him since.
Yeah, is that a thing? Like, you and Holcomb have not had a conversation since then?
And you were worked out for you. Congratulations.
Because you were a senator the whole rest of that time.
Oh, yeah,
for 3 years.
20.
Whatever.
Yeah.
And he still didn't talk to you?
And since 2017.
Well, he totally disowned the women, too. The women were did the Christmas tree lighting and all sorts of things with Holcomb, and then they were like, we don't even like this guy. They stuck us with him. Like, this is not our fault.
Yeah, I did not have a conversation with Governor Holcomb from 2017 until now.
Oh.
That's just what a petty,
That sounds like building a coalition.
What a petty, rotten human
And
being
remember,
Eric Holcomb was.
I ran for mayor of Indianapolis, too.
Oh, wow.
I mean,
in 2019.
this is what a petty, rotten human being Eric Holcomb actually was, is that merely being friends with some guy he didn't like. Oh, you're out. You're out. Okay. Was your mind ever changed by a state of the state? Did you ever hear somebody give a speech and go, ooh, I was on the fence, but now I'm on board?
Well, we've spoke about this on State House Happenings that Evan Bayh came up with a 1% tax on hospitals back in the 90s. I mean, that sparked a lot of conversation, and obviously I was against that. And so I can remember that being a big issue in that campaign, or excuse me, in that session of the General Assembly. And then Mitch coming up with a 1% income tax increase. I remember that as well, and I think that was to jolt people. He wasn't for it, but he wanted to demonstrate that the revenue was fleeting in the state of Indiana, and we were in a big financial mess at that point.
How about now?
Well, I think, and I said this on State House Happenings, I think we're going to have a very rosy forecast coming in April on the future of the state of Indiana economic scene for the next couple of years. And so that will promote a lot of more interest in property tax relief. They just have to, the legislature has to get to April then.
All right. You have a podcast.
I do.
Merit in the Morning. And you have a fabulous guest tomorrow that I would like for you to promote because there's a live show associated with this.
It is. And it's a live podcast, and we'll also, we'll post it. But it's Dan Dockich.
Oh,
and
fun.
We are podcasting from Ale Emporium. It's at 3:30
in Castleton.
Live in Castleton.
Off Allisonville Road.
Yeah, exactly. And I've
gotten liquored up multiple times at the Ale Emporium on Allisonville Road.
Yeah. Well, Dan Dockich is he's
kind of shy, isn't he?
Yeah, and Ale Emporium is the home of the
Hammer. He's a human torch.
Yeah, but Ale Emporium is the home of the Hammer and Nigel tequila, so you can go watch Dan Dockich and get yourself some Hammer and Nigel tequila.
Brett Glaze with Hiatus. We had him on a show when we subbed in for Hammer and Nigel. Yes, Ale Emporium is the place to go.
You should maybe wait until after the podcast to offer Dan Dockich any of that Hammer and Nigel tequila.
He'll drink
the guy's
all of it.
Already on fire. He doesn't need any more gasoline.
I can't wait to taste that tequila.
So it's Thursday at what,
3:30.
3:30 at the Ale Emporium in Castleton. You can get your Hammer and Nigel tequila. You can watch Merit in the Morning with Klopfenstein and Merit and Dan Dockich, and then it's posted to YouTube and Facebook.
Exactly. Yeah, and Klopp is the producer tomorrow.
Oh, boy. What could go wrong? No one will ever see this interview, so you better get there to see it in person.
All right. Thanks, Jim. It is Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
Tonight on the Tony Kennett Cast, after Governor Braun delivers the state of the state, we break it down here just for you. No syndication, just for WIBC. See you at 7:30.
Recent talk about rising interest rates and economic uncertainty may have you wondering if now is the right time to sell your home. Will I get the price I need? Will it take too long? The good news, you don't have to figure this out by yourself. There's a friendly, no pressure, experienced agent who eats and sleeps Indianapolis real estate, Mark Dietl. Maybe you want guaranteed no hassle home sale, but don't want to give up hard-earned equity to do it. Mark Dietl guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. Listen to what Greg and Franklin had to say about working with Mark Dietl. My tenant moved out of my investment property, and I was ready to sell. I heard about Mark on the radio, and everything they say is true. In 15 days on the market, I had a cash offer I wanted on the property. Selling with Mark Dietl was fast, easy, and profitable. Call the local Indianapolis agent I trust and recommend, and the agent who guarantees your home sold or he'll buy it. Call Mark Dietl at 317-755-4232 for all the details, or go online to markdietl.com. It's Mark, DIETEL.com. Tell him Rob sent you.
Hi, I'm Charlie Comer from Comer & Cross Premium Garage Floor Coatings. If your garage floor looks bad with stains, cracks, and pits, it makes your entire garage look bad. And a bad epoxy job or chipping paint makes your garage or basement look worse. With one quick call to 1-800-NEW-FLOOR, I can save you $1,000 on a new Comer & Cross garage floor or basement floor during our winter sale. A Comer & Cross concrete floor coating is the gold standard. Guaranteed guaranteed. A Comer & Cross garage floor won't chip, crack, or show tire lift like epoxy or paint ever. What's the Comer & Cross difference? We make it so easy. We move your stuff out for you. We fix the cracks and pits perfectly. In one day, you will love your gleaming, new Comer & Cross garage floor or basement floor just in time for spring. Call us right now for $1,000 in savings during our winter sale. Operators are standing by now at 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. That's 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. Or go to COMERcross.com.
Howard Bailey Financial is now in Carmel on Rangeline Road. For over 20 years, we've helped people navigate their retirement journeys, and now we're bringing our experience closer to home. Visit retirecarmel.com to schedule your appointment or text Carmel to 888-262-1104 to download a free retirement resource. Together, let's build the retirement you deserve. Howard Bailey Securities, LLC is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. Please see disclosures at howardbailey.com.
Hey, it's Pastor Nathan from Life Church. Let me talk to the guys. Now, I want to give you a heads up. Valentine's Day is coming. And if you really want to touch her heart, maybe don't rely on candy or a stuffed animal this year. We have something even better. Join us at Life Church for our marriage conference February 21st and 22nd. She'll feel more loved than ever as you express your commitment to a growing lifelong marriage. Get more details at lifechurchin.com.
Why not start 2025 with a great new deal from Tom Roush Lincoln? Select 2024 Lincoln Navigators, now $12,000 off, and get 0% for 72 months. How about an all-new 2024 Lincoln Nautilus, now $6,000 off with rates starting at 4.9% for 60 months. So start the new year with a new car from Tom Roush Lincoln in Fishers.
Lincoln Navigator MSRP 104,825. Lincoln Nautilus MSRP 61,695. Offers good through January 31st, 2025. Subject to credit approval. See dealer for complete offer details.
You want to listen all day to WIBC, but you don't always have time. Don't worry. There's a podcast for that. The WIBC Mashup. Daily highlights from your favorite hosts, Tony Katz, Kendall and Casey, and Hammer and Nigel. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
I made a horrific mistake, Casey.
What did you do?
Horrific, horrible mistake. And I need to retract something right now.
Come clean.
Well, I didn't have all the information.
Okay.
In fairness, it's not fair to me because I used the information available to me on the internet at the time. And why would the internet deceive me?
Are you talking about the press secretary?
Yeah. So I think I may have, and this is hard. See, this is why I got out of this game because I don't notice people's appearances.
Sure.
And so as many of our longtime listeners will know that in the days of my youth, I invented a rating system. Because there was a time where I did notice people's appearances, every minute detail about people's appearances.
Okay.
And I created a rating system.
A scale,
and it was called the Broad Ripple Scale. And it was what would you, because, like you're out talking to people and you're like, oh, she's so pretty. Well, how pretty is she? And so you would say she's a broad ripple, fill in the blank, and that would know with what we're dealing with. By the way, in all of the years, I think I only gave 1 or 2 broad ripple 10s in all my years out there in broad ripple.
Do you remember who they belong to?
Not saying here.
Okay.
But the point is, the photos I had seen, I was unaware that she had
Caroline Leavitt,
yes,
the White House press secretary.
That she had just shot out a shorty.
Right, 27 years old. She had a baby right before Donald Trump assassination attempt in Butler.
Right, and so while the photos I was seeing are recent photos, no one in any of these photos had said this woman has just recently given birth to a child. And so I was going off of what I was seeing, and I thought, well, she's pretty, but she's not to the level of like
a broad ripple 10,
Kayleigh McEnany type people that were in Trump's orbit the first time. I thought, well, maybe Trump is softening his stance here or something. And then we started researching this woman, and we realized she's married to a man 32 years her senior who's some real estate tycoon. No,
yeah, she's 27 and her husband is 60.
Yeah, she's totally in the Trump. Like, that's a total Trump move, right? Like, that's Trump and Melania. It's basically the same thing. This woman is totally in Trump's orbit. So then Hammer, who, by the way, Hammer will not be with us today, has a dentist appointment. So I guess from his dentist appointment was texting.
He wanted to get in on this conversation.
And texted me pre-shorty photos of Carolyn Leavitt.
Yeah.
And I will say, there may have been some misnumbering that went on there.
Would you like to renumber?
Well,
No.
It's a family program, right? No. Easily an 8. Hammer says it's a 9.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, well, so this is the conversation Hammer and I had. So he sends me the photos. I said, oh yeah, easily an 8. And Hammer goes, well, probably a 9 because she's smart. And I said, well, I don't want any smarties. They'll be able to figure me out.
That's true.
So I just wanted to correct.
So wait, the scale goes up?
I see what Trump saw when she was hired into the...
She's very fit. She's lovely.
You saw the photo.
I did see the
photo. What number would you give her?
What did I say? My reaction was, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's beautiful.
Cav, you saw the photo.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if it doesn't work out with her and the real estate tycoon.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, she had a lot of makeup on, but I think from what I saw, it was like an 8.
Yeah, see, I think that's a fair rating system. So I think she's on par with what we would expect from the Trump orbit.
Yeah.
Because that was what Trump saw when he hired her.
Okay, well, not only is she beautiful, she's also smart, and she handled herself very well during that press conference.
I stand corrected.
Yep, and she announced that the Trump White House is going to be giving press passes to independent journalists, podcasters, social media influencers, etc.
It's essential to our team that we share President Trump's message everywhere and adapt this White House to the new media landscape in 2025. To do this, I am excited to announce the following changes will be made to this historic James S. Brady briefing room, where Mr. Brady's legacy will endure. This White House believes strongly in the First Amendment, so it's why our team will work diligently to restore the press passes of the 440 journalists whose passes were wrongly revoked by the previous administration. We're also opening up this briefing room to new media voices who produce news-related content and whose outlet is not already represented by one of the seats in this room. We welcome independent journalists, podcasters, social media influencers, and content creators to apply for credentials to cover this White House. And you can apply now on our new website, whitehouse.gov/new media.
Now, you know, she hadn't even gotten that out of her mouth, and I was online.
I knew it.
I figured if Scott Pressler can apply and Benny Johnson can apply, guess who else can apply? Casey Daniels.
You did apply.
I did.
Did you get accepted?
Well, I don't know. It took like 2 minutes.
They're going to see Indianapolis and be like, how would you cover the White House? From
One of the things it says is you have to cover the cost of traveling to Washington.
How are you going to do that?
I don't know. But I thought it'd be fun to do. Go through the exercise,
Can you imagine those legacy media people are sitting there and they're getting barked at by some 27-year-old woman? Like they're just being told how it's going to be. I love that.
Yeah, no, I think it's going to be a whole lot of fun to watch. But we'll see what happens there. You want to talk about Selena Gomez?
Well, I just want to say that my wife went on a rager yesterday over. Is that the right word? She went on just a rant about how Selena Gomez claimed to be speaking for the Mexicans.
Because she said, my people.
Yeah, and it was like my wife was like, I am every bit as Mexican, if not more Mexican, than Selena Gomez, and I feel the exact opposite. So she doesn't get to speak for the Mexicans. I get to speak for the Mexicans, and we're fine with this. We're fine with the deportations.
Selena Gomez is mixed heritage. Her father is of Mexican descent. Her mother has Italian lineage.
Yeah. So my wife is more Mexican than Selena Gomez.
And your wife is okay with everything that ICE is doing.
Why wouldn't you be okay if you're in this country legally? Why wouldn't you be okay with illegal people being deported?
It's Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC. Good morning.
Are you nearly maxed out on your credit cards? It doesn't matter if you're using your credit cards for fun or to survive. At the end of the month, your statements come in, and you can either pay them or you can't. If you can't, late fees and interest rates get tacked on. And now you're struggling just to make the minimum payment due. Do you feel trapped? Am I talking to you? Good, because I personally researched some companies that can help you. They may be able to reduce your credit card balances by 50% and stop the late fees. If you qualify, please call our special debt hotline number right now for a complimentary free 5-minute consultation. Deal with your credit card problem now before it gets much worse and put more money back in your pocket. Trust me, I've been there too. Call right now.
800-948-1659. 800-948-1659. 800-948-1659. That's 800-948-1659.
William is one of millions of Americans who uses GoodRx to save on the cost of their prescriptions.
My oldest daughter, Camilla, 2 days old, she had to have open heart surgery. All of a sudden, she's on 5 different medications. It adds up at the end of the month. Me and the pharmacist got so tight. She said, GoodRx save you a lot of money. Saving that extra $200-300 a month. We're able to do all these extra activities. So So it puts less stress on our household, and it puts less stress on our pockets.
Download the free app or visit GoodRx.com and start saving today. GoodRx user compensated for their time. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance.
Well, good morning, kiddo. I love that you're home from college. I've missed you.
Still taking your Nature-Made vitamins?
Every day. A multivitamin and a probiotic. You better be taking yours.
Still looking out for me, Mom.
I'll never stop.
Made to care for you every day. Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. Find us in the vitamin aisle, based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
IT professionals, don't choose the wrong recycler. Choose Technology Recyclers for complete guaranteed data destruction. Why put your data at risk? You work too hard to experience a data loss by selecting the wrong recycler. Visit tech-recyclers.com.
Hammer and Nigel here, inviting you to join us as we kick off the weekend every Friday around 5:45 with Beer Sample Friday, brought to you by our friends at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
Health gives you the ability to love more, feel more, be more. Health gives you the ability to live an extraordinary life. Because every day, no matter the challenges, is a chance to breathe, laugh until your belly aches, cry because you care so much, and experience everything that makes your life truly extraordinary. For 150 years, Franciscan Health has been there, watching extraordinary lives unfold. Love your extraordinary life.
Attention taxpayers. If you or your business owe the IRS back taxes or have years of unfiled tax returns, the IRS has green-lighted billions of dollars in tax relief to those facing financial hardship through its tax relief initiatives. If you have a delinquent tax problem and possibly facing wage garnishment, liens, levies, audits, or already in a payment plan, you may now qualify for significant relief. Qualifying and enrolling in this program could stop all collections, settle your tax problem, and may even reduce what you owe by up to 99%. Call the hotline at Tax Help USA to see if you qualify by dialing 800-210-8808. If you or your business owe at least $10,000 in back taxes to the IRS or state, you can now get the help that you need during these hard economic times. Call Tax Help USA to get your free tax assessment to see what you qualify for by dialing 800-210-8808. 800-210-8808. 800-210-8808.
Coming up in 2 minutes, Governor Mike Braun has ordered law enforcement to fall in on immigration, plus the name of the man who shot 4 people in Elkhart earlier this week. And Harrison Silcox reports on the sentence for a convicted murderer here in Indianapolis. I'm Kurt Darling. That and more coming up from the Technology Recyclers studios after Fox News Radio. You're listening to 93 WYBC, WYBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 10 o'clock.
A controversial Trump nominee is now at the Senate. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. But does Robert F. Kennedy Jr. have enough Republican support to be Health and Human Services Secretary? White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt just told Fox.
We believe so, and we sure hope that he does, because he is an exceptional and brilliant individual, highly respected. He's going to help President Trump make America healthy again.
In his opening statement, Kennedy plans to tell senators Americans' overall health is in a grievous condition, adding he's not anti-vaccine or anti-industry, he's pro-safety. But RFK Jr.'s cousin, Caroline Kennedy, wrote a letter to senators calling him a predator, warning on social media.
He lacks any relevant government, financial, management, or medical experience. His views on vaccines are dangerous and willfully misinformed.
A short time ago, the Senate Judiciary Committee voted 12-10 to approve Pam Bondi's nomination to be Attorney General, a key step toward full Senate confirmation. Democrats don't have enough votes to block Bondi. The new Homeland Security Secretary, Kristen Noem, has revoked a Biden-era order that extended temporary status to some Venezuelan migrants here illegally.
This is part of our plan to make sure that we're protecting America, keeping it safe again, just like President Trump promised.
Noem tells Fox illegal immigrants who've committed crimes are dirtbags. She took part in New York City raids among the ones nationwide yesterday that led to almost 1,000 more immigrant arrests. President Trump is readying an executive order today that would strip federal funding from schools that teach critical race theory or radical gender ideology. And related to that, the president also took action directing
federally run insurance programs like Medicaid and TRICARE for military families to exclude covering gender transitioning treatment for patients under 19 years old. The order, signed by President Trump, says it is the policy of the United States, not the funds, fund, sponsor, promote, assist, or support so-called transition of a child from one sex to another.
That's Fox's Jared Halpern. Transgender advocates plan legal challenges. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
The orders are clear. It's 40 degrees and sunny downtown. I'm Kirk Darling. Here's what's trending at 10:02. Governor Braun says there are many illegal immigrants in Indiana.
How you remove folks that came into our country illegally and then broke the law, in many cases, several times.
Now he's ordering all law enforcement agencies in Indiana to cooperate with federal immigration officers looking to deport people in the U.S. illegally. Braun says the effort is targeted at violent offenders first, in line with President Trump's agenda. He shot 4 people, 2 civilians and 2 police officers. That's what police say Juan Sanchez did at a grocery store in Elkhart on Monday. The 2 people he shot died, and the 2 cops that he shot are in the hospital, or rather, one is still in the hospital recovering. The other has been released. They both survived. Sanchez was killed by the responding officers. A candlelight vigil held Tuesday night for the people killed. Marion County Prosecutor Ryan Mears announced a 48-year prison sentence for a man convicted of murder. Harrison Silcox.
Security cameras at a convenience store caught the whole thing. Court documents say Kylan White had his car parked in the lot off North High School Road in September of 2022 over on the northwest side of Indianapolis. Julius Beverly was seen getting out of the passenger side of that car before leaning back in and shooting White several times. Beverly also took something from White's waist before taking off, and he was later found guilty after a 2-day trial last December before his sentence was announced this week. Harrison Silcox, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Online lottery and casino games have been approved by an Indiana House committee known as iGaming. Indiana could likely generate over $300 million a year in new revenue if the bill is approved and signed by Governor Braun. Notre Dame given a tough test last night against Georgia Tech.
They led for basically 37 minutes of the game, and our guys just stuck around, and just found a way to win at the end.
Head coach Micah Shrewsbury, they ended up beating the Yellow Jackets 71-68. That's now 3 wins in their last 4 games. They now head south to Miami on Saturday. I'm Kirk Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hi, this is Denny Smith for Zero Res, and here's some really great news. Zero Res has gone flat out for the new year with their biggest and best sale of the year at 24% off all their services. All I can say is wow. Zero Res techs do it all when it comes to cleaning, and not just carpets, but also tile and rugs and upholstery, and literally every surface in your home can be Zero Resified, including your air ducts. It really is the best time of year to call the cleaning pros at Zero Res, and they're sure doing their part with this 24% off all their great cleaning services. And with their Gotta Love It guarantee, they're going to make sure your investment with them is a great experience that you'll never, ever regret. There's nobody better at cleaning than Zero Res. The Zero Res service is easy to line up, and you can go online at ZeroResIndy.com to do the scheduling at your convenience. Just call them and mention WIBC. It's Zero Res. Call 317-388-5141 or book things online at ZeroResIndy.com. That's ZeroResIndy.com.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Good morning. It is Wednesday, January 29th, 5 minutes after 10. You're listening to Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. So, Governor Mike Braun signed an executive order directing state law enforcement to cooperate with ICE in targeting individuals who have committed crimes after entering the United States illegally. He emphasized that the policy targets the worst offenders first, which is in line with what Donald Trump has said.
And look, I think the tide has definitely turned in this country. And I think it got so bad under Biden that people are like, just do what you got to do. I don't think people are buying they're separating families or harming children or, kids in cages or whatever. I just don't think that's having near the impact that it once did. I think people have seen through the media. I think they've seen through the shrieking hyenas. And I think they're like, dude, these people are in this country illegally. A bunch of them are really bad actors. And even the ones who aren't bad actors, if you're in the country illegally, you're breaking the law. And we have laws for a reason.
So the new bill is in the Indiana State House. It will require sheriffs to assist ICE in removing undocumented immigrants. And the question has been raised by the Indy FOP about the importance of clearly defining the roles of federal agents versus local police.
Well, look, they don't, I mean, so Rick Snyder was on with Hammer and Nigel. I guess this would have been last week talking about this. And Bailey, the chief of police, came out with this big statement. Look, I just, in these big cities that are run by liberal mayors and liberal city councils, let's face it, the IMPD is not going to do anything to try to further upset the already frayed relationship that they have with the mayor's office. And I don't know. One of the things I think that government entities do very poorly is messaging. And I think for the chief of police to put out that statement, and it's this long thing, right? So when you put out a long statement, people are going to take whatever bits and pieces of it they want, and then it's like the tall tale, right? Like what was the game you used to play, red light or whatever, where you tell somebody something, they tell somebody something, and then by the end of the exercise, it's not the thing that it.
You're talking about telephone.
Telephone, thank you, yes. And I just think that was a horrible way to put that out there, because then Rick Snyder's got to come on with Hammer and Nigel and try to explain this. Look, IMPD has enough to worry about. They don't want any part of this. But I think what Rick Snyder said, and I think this is kind of being reinforced by this Braun executive order, or at least mandated through this executive order, is if we catch somebody and we can prove that they are illegal, or it comes to our attention they are illegal, we will follow the proper procedure. We're just not going to engage in, like Dog the Bounty Hunter, trying to track these people down. And there's a million different ways that they could have said it better than what they did.
Well, yesterday during her press conference, the press secretary of Trump, Caroline Leavitt, she was asked about this. Like, I thought you guys were just going to target the worst first, but are you also just going to get anybody who is here illegally? And she said these can both be true at the same time.
Look, if you're in the country illegally, you're committing a crime. This is what I've never understood about we're going to go for the criminals first. They're all criminals.
Right, and that's what she said. She said, you came in here illegally, that is a crime.
I mean, if you're, kind of the way this works, like let's say they're in pursuit of some specific group of people, like the Colorado gang guy that they caught the other day. If in pursuit of that person they happen to uncover, which is very likely, hey, there's 10 other people that are in this country illegally, that would be asinine and insane not to also deport those people.
Right, get them while you're there.
Just because you're not looking for them, if you catch them, if you just let people who are breaking laws stay in the country illegally, then you're saying the laws don't matter.
Okay, so here is Governor Braun talking about the executive order.
Indiana is going to be a state that is going to be helping the administration find these folks that are described as the worst first, and I'm happy to do it, and I think you're going to see a bunch of other states do it as well. I'll open it up for questions.
Another thing that Governor Braun has been talking about, obviously, is property taxes. He has his State of the State address tonight. By the way, the response will be at approximately 7:45, which means they have an idea of how long Mike Braun is talking.
Well, it's as we talked with Merritt earlier, and Abdul will join us later to go into this, and we got into it on State House Happenings. It has to be scripted because it's a network broadcast. There's various television stations. Network Indiana, which we own, is disseminating it across the state of Indiana. So when he was on with Hammer and Nigel yesterday, he was kind of like, yeah, it'll be short, it'll be brief. Nah, it's going to kind of be the length that's always been, because that's how television works, right?
I used to always have a rule when I had meetings that they never went longer than 35 minutes.
Right.
Because after that, people just, their eyes glaze over, they start mouth breathing. And if you really had something important that you wanted them to retain, you needed to get it out within a half an hour.
Well, and this is the reality. So the speech tonight, and again, Abdul and Jim Merritt and I got into this on State House Happenings. There's probably 10,000 people in the state that actually are going to closely pay attention to this speech tonight.
Right.
But it's what gets reported. How is he able to frame the property tax argument so that tomorrow Tony and us and Hammer and Nigel can take clips of that and play that back to you guys, so that newspapers across the state will report on this, that people will read about this? How is he able to frame what we essentially gave him, which is, here's 200 people that have been screwed. We could give you 2,000 if you gave us a week. There's no shortage. The story's all the same for most of these people in central Indiana, especially. So how does he frame that in a 5-minute window to try to start moving? It's about moving people to motivate lawmakers. Those lawmakers know all of this. There's not any of them in there that's going to hear something and I go, well, I didn't know Fred in my district was getting screwed.
That's a surprise.
It's about how do we continue to motivate the people, to motivate the lawmakers to pass this bill.
Okay, so he was on with Hammer and Nigel yesterday. He was talking about property taxes. They talked about a variety of things, but Rob Kendall's name came up.
Well, I think, too, I heard it for 2 years, and I don't want to give Rob too much credit.
Please don't.
Because I'm sure he
Please
will.
don't. We're not expecting that.
No.
We're not expecting you to do that at all.
But he was loud on the issue. And, of course, I'm staying here when I'm in the Indy area, listening to the shows, all of them. And I heard it for 2 years. It's such a tough thing to get done right, to correct it. There will be legislators that are going to be sympathetic towards the jurisdictions that should have exercised a little more responsibility for their own taxpayers. So what we end up with, hopefully, is going to be something that resets it, caps it going forward, and makes it difficult to sneak in a referendum if you want more. And I think we've probably then addressed the 3 areas that needed to be spruced up on property taxes.
So Nigel said he's not expecting Braun to give you any credit. maybe just a little.
So next segment, we're going to play a clip of somebody. They were talking about something else, but it totally is the reason our show is as popular as it is. And the major reason for that is we are on your side, you, the audience. We don't care about any of these politicians. We don't need to be friends with them. We don't want to be friends with them. We don't want jobs. We don't. There's nothing that we want. There's nothing that can hold over our heads. Our loyalty is to you. Our relationship is with you. And as a part of that, it's almost like, these insurance guys who are what they call independent brokers, right? Like I could sell all the products versus some guy who sells this company's product. The independent guy, a lot of times, is going to be the best bet for you. Not always, but a lot of times, because they can shop around. Their interest is your interest. That's essentially what we do. We're essentially independent insurance agents on the radio because our job is to shop for you. And in Braun, give him credit, we have found a willing partner who is willing to do good stuff for the state of Indiana. For all these years, people are like, Rob's against everything. You never hear what he's for. Nobody was giving me anything to be for. And I think you've seen with Braun, we have been very supportive of him and the things he's trying to accomplish but for the most part, they're good for the state of Indiana.
It's interesting how this plays out because tonight you'll have Mike Braun giving his State of the State address, which starts at 7. And then immediately following that, you have the Democrat response with the House Minority Leader and then the Senate Minority Leader. And then after that, you have the Republican response, which will be Rod Bray and Todd Houston. So they get to respond to the response.
Well, and again, outside of the, sort of the insider crowd, there's not a plethora of people clamoring to pay attention to this speech. It's the things he says in the soundbite culture that can get disseminated to the people to motivate the legislators. And that's the challenge as a speechwriter, whoever put the speech together tonight for Braun, is to understand the people in the room don't matter. It's the people outside of the room, and how do you soundbite yourself to where the right stuff will get disseminated.
And here are some more people who are outside of the room.
Hi, Rob. Hi, Casey. It's Dave. Bond. Just a few blocks from the governor's house. And our taxes in 2021 were $4,039.56. In last year, 4 years later, they went to $5,004.84, an increase over 4 years of $965.28. And mind you, we appealed. That was with an appeal. In other words, we had our last taxes appealed and got them down, if you will, to that rate. This is a brilliant idea. Thanks for doing it.
This is Jamie from Rushville. Property taxes in 2021 were $14.39. 2024, $16.62. We also have been, for the past several years, fighting off having industrial solar panel farms installed around our property under the guise of gaining more tax revenue. This will only serve to devalue our property. Thank you for your time. We love your show. Thank you.
This is Marcia Price. I live in Lebanon. My 2021 tax bill was $862, which was $120 over the previous year. My current tax bill is $1,389. Thank you.
Yeah, this is Michael and Lynn Shaw. We're from Hendricks County, Danville area. And in the year 2021, we paid in property tax $24.70. In 2024, we paid $28.02.
So different range, all between $5,000 and $2,000.
Well, and you see, and this is not news to anybody, if you're outside the donut area, you're not seeing the increase that that you're seeing inside the donut counties. Obviously, they're substantially higher. Friday, we're going to have an actual township trustee come on with us, and I'm sure that'll be a very spirited conversation about how much money the townships are sitting on, what they actually do. Look, finding the savings is not hard. And so why don't we take a break? When we come back, because I get asked this quite a bit, like, why are you so relentless on the property taxes? Because the property taxes is about a lot more than just what you're paying each year to the government. There's a much broader and bigger conversation at play on this and why it's so important that Braun's bill gets passed. And I want to play this clip that I found yesterday. Guy was talking, he's actually an old friend of the show. I had him on the show a long time ago. And he was talking about something else, but I think it totally applies to our show and why so many of you have connected with us and why we're so popular. And maybe it will open some eyes down at the State House.
It is Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
No matter where you head on your commute, Matt Bear is there. Paris.
Les Champs-Élysées sont un véritable parking ce matin.
Warsaw.
W drodze do pracy wyjdź trochę wcześniej.
Or Brazil.
Temos bisbilhotice no Rio de Janeiro. Não haja como turista.
Matt, these are all cities in Indiana.
Oh, that makes my job easier.
Making your commute easier. Matt Bear Traffic. Mornings and afternoons on 93 WIBC.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have health news, a CDC update.
Pneumococcal vaccination is now recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just one dose, and millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
Jewelry Gram, it's your friends at Shane Company here to remind you that Valentine's Day is Friday, February 14th. It's the most romantic day of the year to give and get fine jewelry. We have expertly crafted gifts for every type of sweetheart. For the one, we'll help you propose with the dream engagement ring. Come see our wide selection of hand-picked natural and lab-grown diamonds in all shapes and sizes. In stock and ready to compare side by side right here in our store. Or maybe you'll fall in love with a natural, colorful gemstone. At Shane Company, we're known for our sapphires in every color of the rainbow. We have options for every style and budget. Get creative and design a custom necklace with meaningful charms, including 14-karat gold letters, engravable hearts, and birthstones. Our mother-of-pearl heart-shaped collection makes a perfect gift that's ready to give. At Shane Company, love is always in the air with our unmatched free lifetime warranty, everyday competitive prices, and no-pressure shopping experience. Come see us in-store and at shaneco.com. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Well, changing question. Are you keeping as much of your investment gains as possible?
High taxes can erode returns quickly, so you need a tax-optimized portfolio. At Creative Planning, our money managers and specialists work together to make sure your portfolio and wealth are managed in a tax-efficient manner. It's what you keep that really matters. Why not give your wealth a second look? Book your free meeting today at creativeplanning.com. Creative Planning, a richer way to wealth.
Book your custom patio project before March 1st and save up to $2,500. Indy Decorative Concrete, the patio experts. Big enough to service, small enough to care.
On July 26th of 2024, so 6 months ago, that Mike Braun released his proposal to reform the state's property tax system. He said nothing is more important than ensuring Hoosiers can afford to live in their homes without being overburdened by rising property taxes driven by rapid inflation in home values.
And we have obviously, look, this is our deal, right? We have a lot of fun with the lack of humility on this show, but this is our bill. This is our deal. This is our thing. We started this conversation. I'm saying we collectively, our community here, we started this conversation essentially, 4 years ago now. And this is a big day for us because after its 4 years of work, now has this issue front and center in the governor's State of the State address tonight. And the property tax issue, the reason we here each day are spend so much time on this is because this is a much bigger conversation than just property taxes. Yes, they're unjust. Yes, the government had nothing to do with you buying your home. They shouldn't have a forever lien on your property. But it's about how wasteful government actually is. And if you force the beast to be starved, it will reveal to you how much the beast can actually survive with so much less, right? And this is the conversation. You have to take it away from them. These local governments, now state is its own animal, and it's pathetic in its own right. But I feel like Braun is in there doing stuff with that. He's going to find $1 billion this year. I mean, this will be exposed over time there. But these local governments, I know, I was there. I saw it firsthand. We cut property tax rates 18.5% in 4 years I was there. Nobody suffered. All the police showed up. All the firemen were there. All the roads were paved. I mean, this argument that if you force local governments to be more effective and efficient, society will somehow suffer is crap. And if you can win this one, if you win this big one and nothing changes, it will open people's eyes to how in so many different facets and so many other ways that your local officials are the problem. They're not being creative. They're not being efficient. They're not being effective. They're just punching a clock and showing up to work. So the reason we spend so much time on this, we got one shot. This is it. This is our chance. This year, if it fails, big trouble. So many dominoes can fall if Braun's property tax plan can pass.
So on Friday, we're going to have a township trustee join us.
Yeah.
And that person is going to defend their need for money. He's
a listener of the show and is very adamant that that we're wrong on a lot of stuff. And so here's the thing about our show. We don't run from anybody. We've been saying this for years. If you don't like what we say, if you're an elected official, you disagree, we will give you the platform. We are interested in the conversation. I'm going to be fascinated because I've looked up this guy. I've looked up his budgets. I've looked up his expenditures. The reason they don't come in with us, these elected officials, you're coming to Lion's Den. We don't. This guy may be a fine human, but as an elected official, we don't like you. We're not going to defend you. We're not going to kiss your ass. We think you're the problem. We think you are the problem, and you better come prepared to bring the heat because you're going to get it back at you. So we'll see. I mean, give the guy credit. He wants to come in and tell us how great township government is. We'll see. All right. So I found this clip yesterday, Casey, and it's not about radio. It's actually about professional wrestling.
Right.
But I saw it and I thought, man, this totally applies to our show and why we are so popular. So the guy you're going to hear, his name is Jim Cornette. He's arguably the greatest living wrestling historian left. I mean, he was a super famous professional wrestling manager for years, does a podcast now that's wildly popular. And so much of, this sounds weird, but so much of wrestling mirrors sort of our history as a nation. And he's a great not only wrestling historian, but also historian of things that have happened in this country. I had him on my show years ago. It was a great interview. And he's talking about why people invest in pro wrestling. Like this thing we've talked about before, where I've checked out of it because they make a joke out of it now. Like they admit it's fake. They admit it's Disney on Ice. Yeah. It's Cirque du Soleil. Now they've insulted the premise of the thing, which used to be, something's a little off, but we're going to give you a reason.
They didn't put it in your face that it's fake.
We're going to get you to invest in this thing. And so he's talking about when pro wrestling was what it used to be, why people used to have an emotional investment in pro wrestling. And I think it applies to what we're doing here. So in this analogy, we are the little guy on the side of the road.
The government is the big guy.
And the government is the big guy. And I want to play this for you and see if you can extrapolate that and say, yes, this applies to our show.
You drive down the side of the road. You see two guys on the side of the road in a heck of a fight. You want to pull over and see what's going to happen, right? And there's a big guy and a little guy. And that big guy is wailing on that little guy. And you're like, boy, he's getting a kicked out of him. But that big guy, he looks too big for me, so I'm not going to mess with this. But then, because you're a human, and it's human nature, the little guy comes up off the shoulder of the road and starts firing back. And the big guy's getting the kicked out of him. And then you're going, yeah, hit him again. Because you don't know who these people are. But you see it, you get with it. Now imagine if you know that little guy, who he is, and that you like him, and that he's your hero, and that big guy, what a he is. He's an asshole. He says horrible things to everybody. I hope he gets the kicked out of him. Now, instead of just driving down the road and stopping, you might want to pay $5 or $10 or whatever it is to see that fight, to see whether the little guy can kick the out of the big guy and get even for you.
And that's us.
Yeah. Except we're free.
People cheer for us because we are on their side. We have the voice and the platform to say the things that they think. People hate the government. The government is abusive to citizens. And most people don't have a platform. They're afraid of the government. They don't have a platform to fight back. The reason, if you're down at the State House right now hearing us, and we know you all listen, the reason we're number one is because people see themselves in us. We are the way the people feel. We are the little guy with the platform, and they hope we kick the crap out of you every single day.
It is Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
Hi, I'm Charlie Comer from Comer & Cross Premium Garage Floor Coatings. If your garage floor looks bad with stains, cracks, and pits, it makes your entire garage look bad. And a bad epoxy job or chipping paint makes your garage or basement look worse. With one quick call to 1-800-NEW-FLOOR, I can save you $1,000 on a new Comer & Cross garage floor or basement floor during our winter sale. A Comer & Cross concrete floor coating is the gold standard. Guaranteed. A Comer & Cross garage floor won't chip, crack, or show tire lift like epoxy or paint ever. What's the Comer & Cross difference? We make it so easy. We move your stuff out for you. We fix the cracks and pits perfectly. And one day, you will love your gleaming new Comer & Cross garage floor or basement floor just in time for spring. Call us right now for $1,000 in savings during our winter sale. Operators are standing by now at 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. That's 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. Or go to COMERcross.com.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Buyouts for federal workers. It's 40 degrees and sunny downtown. I'm Kurt Darling. Here's what's trending at 10:30. That's what President Trump is offering in an email for workers who do not want to return to the office from remote work.
It is not telling federal workers that they will still get paid if they want to continue working home. It is telling federal workers that they can take a vacation or they can go on a cruise until the end of September. Part of this email says, if you resign under this program, you'll retain all pay and benefits regardless of your daily workload and will be exempted from all applicable in-person work requirements until September 30th, 2025. And the instructions they were sent are simple. Type the word resign into the body of this reply email, hit send.
Fox's Peter Ducey. The Federal Reserve's two-day policy meeting wraps up today. Investors believe that the central bank will leave interest rates unchanged when the meeting concludes. It comes as the Fed weighs how the Trump administration's economic agenda may impact inflation as well as the whole economy. I'm Kirk Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer? Can we sleep cooler? Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Limited time. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
Blood, sweat, tears. At Bill Estes, we know it takes hard work and years of doing the right thing to build a business people can depend on. That's why we don't make empty promises and expect your trust. Estes earns it. From Ford F-150s and Toyota Tacomas to Ram 1500s and Chevy Silverados, we have the trucks you'll love at prices you can believe in. But don't just take our word for it. Your trust means something. Estes earns it. BillEstes.com.
Discussing end-of-life matters can be uncomfortable, but it's also necessary to ensure that loved ones' wishes are well known ahead of time. This is Tina McIntosh, president of Joy's House and co-host of the Caregiver Crossing radio program. Up next, I'll share suggestions to help ease anxiety surrounding the talk.
Cardon and Associates offers the finest senior living options tailored to your loved one's needs. Reservations are now being accepted for new apartments at Copper Trace in Westfield. Visit cardon.com.
Direct, open, and honest conversation is the best way to discuss end-of-life wishes. Knowing your loved one's preferred treatments and desired arrangements will ready everyone for when the time comes. Also helpful, creating a will or trust to ensure assets are distributed accordingly. And consider an end-of-life doula to assist your family during the process. More tips like this are available anytime at caregivercrossingradio.org. With new weekly content created by Joy's House and distributed in partnership with Network Indiana, we're an on-air and online support group for Hoosier family caregivers. Hear conversations with experts, access the library of online education, and more at caregivercrossingradio.org.
Tune in Saturdays 9 to 1 for the Home and Garden Show for advice and fun. Brought to you by Michaelis. Water, storms, fire, and wet basements. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC. It's time to hear from you. Kendall and Casey present Voicemails.
Here we go with the Wednesday edition of your voicemails at 317-684-8444. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. So a clip of a visibly emotional Selena Gomez made the rounds on social media earlier this week. And, of course, Trump's border czar, Tom Homan, says that, he's going to continue with the deportations without apology after her tearful video. Somebody wanted to call and make a comment about that.
Hey, Kendall and Casey, it's Brian on the eastern edge of your listening area. Hey, listen, love you guys' show. You were just talking about Selena Gomez having a multi-million-dollar home that she could house some immigrants. I think what would fix a lot of problems and shut a lot of people up is if, say, they're allowed to, what am I trying to say? To house these folks or to sponsor them. That's what I want to say. Sponsor them and make that sponsor 100% liable for them, for their actions, housing them, feeding them, whatever, for their medical bills and whatnot. I bet a lot of people would probably take their hand and shove it down their pants and then shut their mouths. So I think that might be a good choice. Offer it up to people who want to sponsor, say some really hardened criminals that we're trying to get out of the country first.
Well, we talked about yesterday. I had that little online run-in with the wacky former local news TV reporter here, and I just finally asked her because she was just up in arms over the fact that the Hamilton County Sheriff's Office is getting training on how to deal with the illegal immigrants. And I finally asked her, how many of these illegals are you housing? And of course, you don't get an answer on that because the answer is zero.
Zero, absolutely.
How many is AOC housing? Zero.
None.
Yeah, exactly.
The thing that always gets me about this is you're separating the children from their families. Do you think that, how about Laken Riley's mom?
Right.
She's separated from her child.
Yeah.
And Tom Homan says, we're going to do this job. We're going to enforce the laws of the country. If they don't like it, then go to Congress and change the law.
That's right.
And that's the thing. Even when you talk about sponsoring someone or housing them, guess what? They still have broken the law by coming in here illegally. So we've been talking a lot about Senate Bill 1 and the hearings that are going on. Somebody has a suggestion.
listening right now to Rob and Casey talking about the whole Senate Bill 1 thing and how that hearings are scheduled for next week, it looks like. Rob, I want to encourage you to be there, A, because you are a taxpayer and you are directly affected by this, but B, because you're an effective speaker. And I think your words carries a lot of weight. Don't let it go to your head. Haha. Anyway, hopefully you can make that happen.
Okay, here's the problem with this. When I go somewhere, it all becomes about me. And everybody there will make it about me. I think the last time, here's how long it's been since I went and talked to those people, 2014 when they, of course, they exempted a whole bunch of people they like, but when they gutted the tax increment finance laws across the state. And that turned into a big hayrube there, too. And so, I don't know. I'm torn on that because I would love to be there to see it. But I think the thing will stand on its own. And if the people show up and speak, they're going to know what to say. They're going to lay this out. These local government, the lawmakers, they know what the local government's doing. I agree. I would paint it in a light and a way that nobody else would. But this is also not. Here's also the other part of the problem with this. And we're going to need to get people to go, and they're going to have to go en masse. They give you like 3 minutes, and then you go. And then they decide whether they want to ask you follow-up questions. Well, those people sitting there hate my guts, many of them, to the point where
they're going to tune you out.
Well, or it's going to turn to some big nasty, like I said, some nasty.
And take the focus off the bill.
Brouhaha. Yeah. And I want the thing to pass. I am interested in good governance. And so while I agree with this guy that nobody would frame it like I would, if I go over there, then it's going to all become about me, and it needs to be about the bill and getting the thing through the Senate. So I'm open.
Your mere presence may make them obstinate and make them want to vote no.
That's right.
Just in spite of you.
That's right. Because, if I get up there and speak, I'm going to tell them exactly what I think of them. And it's going to, I don't know.
It's just not going to. We need to let Governor Braun do his job.
We'll see. We're going to have an assignment for everybody tomorrow. We'll see how that goes. And you guys did so good on the last one. It was very effective. And so we're going to have a new little fun exercise we're going to do together tomorrow.
Okay.
And we'll see how that goes.
Here's another phone call. This one is about other bills that we've talked about that are going on in the state legislature.
Hey, Robin Casey, I'm glad you hit on the other bills besides the property tax briefly, where, the toll road thing, let the municipalities charge for whatever for road taxes and fix their roads. This is crazy. Can we now make a list of all of these House bills and all of these legislators who do not get the big picture that we are done spending money? Find out where the money is going. We already have money coming out for road taxes. Tell the folks at Fairbanks to sit down for a little bit. We're not giving you $2 more for whatever cigarette cessation, smoking stuff. No, we're done spending money. I just, thanks a bunch. I hope we can make a list of legislators who don't get it.
Well, there's 150 of them. I can think of probably 5, maybe 6 who do. So there's 144. Right. I mean, just fill. The problem is, we talked about this yesterday. They don't do what you want or help you because they don't fear you. These people operate at the path of least resistance. It is literally that simple. And up until now, they have believed that the donors and the lobbyists and the local government people are the biggest threat to their existence. If they make them happy, the chances are no one's going to even primary them, period. And if they do, it won't be somebody good they have to fear. They fear the idea of a township trustee running against them because that's
more than the voters.
Right. That's an organized person who will be able to raise some money. You have to make them in the coming weeks fear you more than they fear the local government people.
Do you want to touch on some of these other bills really quick before we get to some more phone calls?
No hammer today, so we can go a little long.
We can go a little long. The House committee voted 9-2 in favor of a bill legalizing online casino gambling and also lottery ticket sales. So that bill is moving forward.
So when Kloffenstein was here, we got into this. This is the idea that in a bar, you can walk into a bar and they'll have the video poker or whatever up, and you'll be able to run that from that device there, or I think even some of these things deal with being able to do it from your cellular telephone. And you think about the amount of money that is not now. This is a great example of how powerful the gambling lobby is. The two most powerful lobbies in the state are the liquor lobby and the gambling lobby. And the gambling lobby has been able to suppress this for over a decade because they don't want anything to potentially interfere with casinos. And so if you saw the argument, the people who own the Terre Haute Casino were there in full force saying, you're going to interfere with our ability to make money at the casino. And maybe there's a little crack in this now because it did clear the House,
the committee
that was in charge of it. And so we'll see what happens next. But you're talking hundreds of millions of dollars. I mean, it's $1 billion industry, and the state would capture maybe up to a quarter of $1 billion of that.
Well, for online casino games, it could reach $522 million, and that could go up to over $1 billion within 3 years.
Yeah. So, I mean, look, people should be able to do what they want to do. If you're an adult and you earn your money legally, you should be able to spend it as long as you're not asking people for assistance, however you please.
There's also that bill that could raise your food delivery. It's House Bill 1461. It includes 35 provisions, and it's another 50 cents to $1 per delivery. So if you're one of those people that does DoorDash or Amazon, the price of that could go off. A delivery fee, and they're trying to raise $200 million for road repairs.
Well, okay, so let's talk about this for a second. So this is this Jim Pressel gobbledygook nonsense bill, and this is what we got into the other day, where this is example number one of how you have some of the most lazy, uncreative people alive down the street from us. And when there's an air quote funding, take away the fact that 8 years ago we told them this thing will work. None of them take any accountability for that. A whole bunch of these people are still there who voted for this road funding bill, tax increase bill 8 years ago. And we told them at the time, we said, this is lazy, it's uncreative, and it ain't going to work. Oh, they're there now. Sit down. 8 years now, they're back going, oh, it didn't work.
We need more money.
No apologies. No, you were right. And now they're just going to do the same sort of thing. It's not a revenue problem. It's a management of government problem. And you notice you never hear them demand accountability from NDOT. They never demand more efficiency from the government agencies. It's just, well, NDOT told us this, and we're too stupid and lazy to verify whether it's true or not, so we'll just go along with this. And how can we find the new tax increase to stick it to you? And one of the ones I guess they've come up with is they want to tax your Amazon orders.
Yeah, what can we tax today to get us more money? Here's a phone call. This one, we've been sharing a lot of your property tax stories, and this is a phone call about those calls.
Rob and Casey, I was listening to your podcast, the voicemails on the podcast, and wanted to tell you that someone's voicemail hit home with me. I have also been told that if I appeal my property tax assessment, that there's always a chance that it could go up and it could be worse for me. So they are totally trying to suppress people from appealing their property tax assessments so that they don't have to deal with us. So anyway, thanks a bunch. I appreciate what you're doing.
Now, it's my understanding that they changed that law recently, that there's some sort of safe harbor thing. Don't quote me on this. Consult your assessor. It's very easy. Maybe I'll call over there later today and ask them if that's still a thing, because I was told that in the 2 or 3 years ago, whenever it was, they came up with their latest round of things that didn't help, and they lied to us and said they were going to help, that they had changed that rule that you can now appeal without any sort of ramification. But it did used to be absolutely the law. I'll call over there today and ask, and I'll get an answer tomorrow.
So yesterday we played a clip of Barack Obama. So his immigration numbers while he was president were somewhere between 3 and 6 million. And we played this clip of him saying that he was going to, deport illegals. And somebody wanted to call and comment about the audio clip that we played.
Good morning. Love your show. I would make a suggestion. I heard Barack Obama talk about deporting all illegal immigrants in reference to, I don't know when it was that he gave that speech, that they would be deported if they're here illegally. I think that should be broadcasted. I think there should be some major broadcasts throughout, of course, Fox News. I think that should go on other newses just like they do when they do campaigns. I have someone pay for that to put that on every channel known to mankind, especially the Democrats, and say, you guys are Democrats. Anyways, I just think it's so stupid. But, yeah, I really love that when you guys came up with that clip that talks about Barack Obama. I love to have everybody and their grandma, especially The View and all these dummies, hear this stuff.
Well, ladies on The View, they don't care. They spew lies all the time. But I think more than anything, you'll see it all over social media, and that's just as effective.
Yeah.
So one last phone call, Kevin. Let's skip ahead to the last one. And I don't know if this person is being funny, if they're
we love comedians,
making a joke. I don't know. You help me decide. But it is a comment about the lieutenant governor's position in the great state of Indiana.
Hey, Rob, how about this for money saving for the taxpayers of Indiana? In 8 years, propose a rule to do away with the lieutenant governor's position. There's 45 states that have a lieutenant governor, and there's 5 states that don't. So Indiana should get on board and do that. So this way, we don't pay one more person some taxpayer money.
Notice he said in 8 years.
Yeah, well, you could do that if you want. Now, somebody's got to be in a line of succession to the governor. Somebody's got to be next. The lieutenant governor has previously had a bunch of agency responsibilities, but they're obviously stripping those away from Micah because they hate him. You could do that. You could theoretically, why not the attorney general? Why? The issue is not whether there's a lieutenant governor or not. Now, is Mike overpaid? Absolutely. Is it gross the amount of money these statewide office holders make? Absolutely. But, if you want to, who's next then? What do you go? Is the attorney general next in the line? I don't,
State treasurer.
You'd have to change.
Well, and it also requires an amendment to the Constitution of Indiana.
Well, and the most important job of lieutenant governor is he's president of the Senate. He oversees the Senate. He casts tie-breaking votes in case of the tie in the Senate. So, he has constitutionally based duties. You'd have to rearrange all of that. I'm open to saving any sort of money. It is gross how much all these statewide office holders make, though. That's disgusting.
It is Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
Oh, man. We got a fun Hammer and Nigel show this afternoon. Jeff Boggs is in for Nigel. Tom Green, comedian, scheduled to join us. The state of the state and more. Let's go.
Hey, guys, it's Rob for my friends and family at Life Church, and they've got a marriage conference coming up February the 21st and 22nd at their Noblesville campus. It's a great opportunity for you to show you care enough to invest in your marriage with a date weekend that will show great return in your relationship. Talk a lot on this show about the amazing impact Life Church has had on my life, my wife's life, my family's life, and they'd love to have the pleasure of showing you what they're all about. You got nothing to lose and everything to gain, so whether it's Sunday services or the marriage conference or anything in between, learn more about Life Church on the web, lifechurchin.com.
Hi, I'm Ken Mears, founder of Great Healthworks, the maker of Omega XL. Folks, if you're searching for an answer to your daily aches, pains, and soreness, then try Omega XL. It's a natural product sourced from a green lip mussel. This oil extract is one of the most powerful, natural joint relief super oils in the world. This one-of-a-kind extract is not found in any other product, and it's backed by over 40 years of clinical research, showing that Omega XL provides relief from joint pain due to inflammation. Stop living in pain. Inflammation is controllable, it's manageable, and it's fixable. Importantly, Omega XL is small, easy to swallow, with no fishy aftertaste. And it works. We've put over 20 years into this quality brand, ensuring that Omega XL makes a difference in your life. Try it, and you won't be disappointed.
Call now for Omega XL's BOGO special, 800-607-2604. That's less than $20 a bottle. Remember, there's a 60-day money-back guarantee. Terms apply. 800-607-2604. 800-607-2604. Or OmegaXL.com/news.
Hey guys, it's Rob for my friends at We Grow Hair Indie. And if you are looking in the mirror and saying, man, I'm looking a little light on top, now might be the great time to get your confidence back. I know. I was in that spot 4 years ago, and I made the trip. I made the phone call, and then I made the trip to We Grow Hair Indie. And boy, I'll tell you what, it was a great experience all the way around. Darren and the gang, top-notch guys. And here's how it works. You call today, 317-522-2995. 317-522-2995. Schedule a totally free, no hassle, no obligation consultation. And then, Darren and the gang, they'll give you some suggestions on how you might be able to get your hair back. From there, it's totally up to you. You make the call. In the meantime, you can see some other folks who made the choice to head over to We Grow Hair Indie at WeGrowHairIndie.com. WeGrowHairIndie.com. You can see the results, some of their stories. Call today, 317-522-2995, 317-522-2995. Tell them Rob sent you.
Big Joe here for your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer, B&W HVAC Plumbing and Electrical.
Coming home to a cold house in the dead of winter isn't just inconvenient, it's expensive. For over 60 years, thousands of Hoosiers have trusted B&W to catch their problems early and keep their families warm and safe. Call 317-214-0108 or go to bplusw.com for fast, reliable service today.
That's 317-214-0108. B&W, your American Standard dealer since 1961.
Garage Doors of Indianapolis is everything that's right about Central Indiana. They've been locally family-owned for 50 years, helping our local economy remain strong by employing 70 families. Garage Doors of Indianapolis is proud to do business right here in the great state of Indiana. They're a conservative-minded company that shares our values and stands by their products and services. You can call Garage Doors of Indianapolis today for service today. 875-4577, 875-4577, or visit doorstoday.com.
That's are us. When dreams don't get in, that's are us.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel, plus low to no monthly payments. Call 765-545-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsareus.com. 765-545-BATH.
That's are us. When dreams don't get in, that's are us.
Health gives you the ability to love more, feel more, be more. Health gives you the ability to live an extraordinary life. Because every day, no matter the challenges, is a chance to breathe, laugh until your belly aches, cry because you care so much, and experience everything that makes your life truly extraordinary. For 150 years, Franciscan Health has been there, watching extraordinary lives unfold. Love your extraordinary life.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Limited time. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
Never miss your favorite shows on WIBC. Get your content to go. Would you like fries with that? Tony Katz, Kendall and Casey, Hammer and Nigel, Tony Kennett, The Gun Guy, Home and Garden. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
Dank DeMoss is suing Lyft. This after a driver allegedly refused to give her a ride due to her weight. So Dank DeMoss.
What's her name?
Dank.
I think that's her real name.
No, her real name is Dejua Blanding.
Oh, I can see why she went with Dank DeMoss.
Yeah,
then.
that's a stage name, Dank DeMoss. She's a rapper from Detroit.
Oh.
And
she's very well fed.
She is very comfortable. And
poundage, as we used to say. She has some, when people would ask me to describe a heavier person, I would say they have some poundage.
She tried to get a Lyft ride somewhere, and the driver didn't give her a ride. Said she couldn't fit in the car.
Well, she couldn't give her a ride. Dank DeMoss
physically could not get in the vehicle.
Dank DeMoss was too heavy to fit in this person's vehicle because she weighs 489 pounds.
489.
And that's too heavy to fit in a reasonably sized automobile. And so thus now she's mad and suing.
Now she's suing. She said she felt humiliated by the encounter.
It's not the 489 pounds that's humiliating her. It's that
somebody called her out on it.
Right. And it doesn't sound like this person was trying. It was like physics. Ma'am, you cannot fit in my automobile.
Dank claims that it violated Michigan's anti-discrimination laws.
So what are they supposed to do? Butter her up and try to jam her in there? I mean, how would that have worked?
Of course, she filmed the entire incident on her phone and then posted it to social media. The post went viral, reached thousands of people, and she says that she's an advocate for plus-size people.
No, you're an advocate for being a fatty and being a jerk.
The Attorney General said that there were consequences, because what if she were unable to seek shelter after the driver left her stranded?
Here's an idea.
Mm-hmm.
Lose some weight. You'll fit in the car.
Can we talk about Donald Trump coming up?
Sure.
All right, we're going to do that. You're listening to Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
In almost every case, when Advent has solved a breathing triangle problem, it is a one and done. Because we don't want you to be a lifelong patient. We want you to be our next success story.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Limited time. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
Well, good morning, kiddo. I love that you're home from college. I've missed you.
Still taking your Nature Made vitamins?
Every day. A multivitamin and a probiotic. You better be taking yours.
Still looking out for me, Mom.
I'll never stop.
Made to care for you every day. Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. Find us in the vitamin aisle, based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
Attention taxpayers. If you or your business owe the IRS back taxes or have years of unfiled tax returns, the IRS has greenlighted billions of dollars in tax relief to those facing financial hardship through its tax relief initiatives. If you have a delinquent tax problem and possibly facing wage garnishment, liens, levies, audits, or already in a payment plan, you may now qualify for significant relief. Qualifying and enrolling in this program could stop all collections, settle your tax problem, and may even reduce what you owe by up to 99%. Call the hotline at Tax Help USA to see if you qualify by dialing 800-210-8808. If you or your business owe at least $10,000 in back taxes to the IRS or state, you can now get the help that you need during these hard economic times. Call Tax Help USA to get your free tax assessment to see what you qualify for by dialing 800-210-8808. 800-210-8808. 800-210-8808.
Hey, Pat Sullivan here with an offer you don't want to miss. My friends at Hope Plumbing want to help their customers stay healthy by improving their water quality. Install a combo package, a new tankless reverse osmosis system, a carbon filter, and a water softener, all for $5,000. Let's face it, Indiana's water quality is pretty poor, and this water quality combo for only $5,000 can help ensure your family's drinking water is safe. Give Hope Plumbing a call or visit them online at hopeplumbing.com.
Reach your fitness goals in 2025 with a 20-minute once-a-week program at Exercise Inc. 5 locations now in Fishers. Visit exerciseinc.com.
Book your custom patio project before March 1st and save up to $2,500. Indy Decorative Concrete, the patio experts. Big enough to service, small enough to care.
Coming up in 2 minutes, the orders handed down by Governor Mike Braun yesterday regarding federal immigration. Plus, IMPD, they're still looking for a suspect they were in a standoff with overnight. And the Butler Bulldogs put in a valiant effort last night, but it came up short. I'm Kirk Darling. That and more coming up from the Technology Recycler Studios after Fox News Radio. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 11 o'clock.
This is a Fox News alert. A controversial nominee under scrutiny at the Senate. I'm Dave Anthony.
I want to thank President Trump for entrusting me to deliver on his promise to make America healthy again.
And Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who's up for Health and Human Services Secretary, says Americans' overall health is in a grievous condition.
Over 70% of adults and a third of children are overweight or obese.
And Kennedy says we have to end a chronic disease epidemic. As for his critics,
news reports have claimed that I'm anti-vaccine or anti-industry. I am neither. I am pro-safety.
And that protest briefly interrupted Kennedy's opening statement, though he then went on to say that he won't apologize for questioning the status quo. Democratic Senator Ron Wyden, fearful Kennedy as HHS Secretary,
is going to endanger the lives of kids and seniors across the nation.
Then the senator told Kennedy,
you say one thing and then you say another. In your testimony today under oath, you denied that you were anti-vaccine. But during a podcast interview in July of 2023, you said, quote, no vaccine is safe and effective.
Kennedy replied he was cut off in that interview.
And I was going to continue for every person. Every medicine has people who are sensitive to them.
And he told Wyden.
I've corrected it many times, including on national TV. You know about this, Senator Wyden, so bringing this up right now is dishonest.
And he's been clashing with other Democrats as well. The new Homeland Security Secretary, Kristen Noma's undone a Biden order by revoking temporary status for some Venezuelan migrants here illegally, telling Fox.
They were going to be able to stay here and violate our laws for another 18 months, and we stopped that.
President Trump wants to reduce the federal workforce, sending buyout offers, urging those who don't want to return to offices resign.
The president has no authority to make that offer.
Democratic Senator Tim Kaine warns federal workers don't trust him.
If you resign in the next week, we're just going to pay you for doing nothing for the next 7 months. Don't be fooled.
America's listening to Fox.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
He's expecting them to help. Radar is clear, 41 and sunny downtown. I'm Kurt Darling. Here's what's trending at 11:02. Governor Mike Braun has signed an executive order saying that state law enforcement must cooperate with federal immigration agents.
I'm going to direct any of our authorities to not resist, and hopefully they'll be compliant on their own.
He says it will follow the lead of President Trump by going after the worst offenders first in the state. IMPD still looking for a suspect who was in a brief standoff with the cops late last night on the north side. Police say that they arrived to a home where a man in his 60s was suffering from a gunshot wound. He was taken to the hospital, and they soon figured out that a man was holed up in a home nearby, but when SWAT went inside that home, no one was there. Stricter ordinances on street racing and spinning in Indianapolis could soon become state law here for the rest of Indiana. It's been an issue in Indy since the pandemic.
It's an organized effort, and not everyone that is involved in this activity is from Indiana. And they're certainly not just from Indianapolis. They come from all over.
IMPD Chief Chris Bailey says street takeovers are becoming a statewide issue, and he wants state lawmakers to pass a bill making it easier to seize someone's car and stiffen the penalties for street racing or spinning. It passed a state Senate committee on Tuesday. Rain is supposed to move back into the state here soon. Ryan Hedra, John Herrick reports.
It's supposed to arrive during the day Thursday, with the heaviest amounts falling Thursday night.
So the highest amounts should be in southern Indiana, where we could see 1 inch to 2 inches, and then as you get closer to the I-70 corridor, a 0.5 inch to 1 inch is possible, and then lesser amounts further north.
Aaron Updike with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis says there's no snow in the forecast for at least the next week for Indiana. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
The Butler Bulldogs gave themselves a shot against number 9 Marquette last night. They had a 7-point lead at halftime, but the faucet turned off after that.
We competed. But we just, when we needed things to happen, we weren't able to make them happen tonight.
Head coach Thad Matta, the Golden Eagles taking the win, 78-69. Butler heads to Georgetown on Friday. I'm Kurt Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Are you worried about your taxes? Okay, so I'm talking to those of you out there that have not filed in a few years with the IRS or state. It's time to get worried, and here's why. The IRS is getting back from their own COVID lockdown, and they're hiring more enforcers, and they're going to come after people that owe taxes. So if you're a 1099 worker, and maybe you just plain forgot to file your taxes, you need to call the professionals right now at the Tax Helpline. They are experts at knowing the tax regulations, and their goal is to help you pay as little as possible. Call right now and get a 100% free tax evaluation. Remember, before the IRS knocks on your door, knock on our door. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, make this free call right now.
Call Taxes 321 now at 800-808-9443. 800-808-9443. That's 800-808-9443.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Good morning. It is Wednesday, January 29th. It's 5 minutes after 11. His name is Rob Kendall. My name is Casey Daniels, and you're listening to 93 WIBC. Let's talk about Donald Trump. And at this point, you could just spin the wheel to determine which topic you'd like to discuss, because the amount of advocacy that his administration is putting out at such a rapid rate It's jaw-dropping.
It's very busy.
Yeah, so much stuff so quickly. And now I understand why they named their new Twitter account Rapid Response 47, because it is so rapid.
Don't you kind of get the feeling he's sitting there responding to all the inquiries in the Twitter account? It's Trump personally.
So let's do this topic first. We'll see how many we can get
By the
through.
way, it is the Kendall and Casey show. I'm Rob, you're Casey.
I said that.
Did you?
Yeah,
I
did.
wasn't paying attention.
Okay.
Sorry.
So Donald Trump has suspended federal funding, right? And now there is a federal judge who has issued a stay against this directive and ordered that a freeze on federal assistance affecting different programs will be delayed until at least Monday at 5 p.m. Upon further litigation.
I love the fact that Trump is going to send that letter out to all those federal workers that were working from home. You're like, you're going to come to the office by such and such a day. You have the opportunity to quit if you don't want to do that, and choose wisely, because after this day, you won't be able to quit and get the severance package.
Did you see what it came out? The email came out, and it said, just reply to this, and in the body of the email, just put resign.
Okay, so let's play this out. So it's a pretty generous severance package, actually.
It's a 7-month salary buyout.
So
Leave their job by February 6th.
Now, with the federal employees, because they have a sweet-ass pension plan, like there's other things at play here. But let's just say it's just a job where somebody said, I will pay you 7 months not to work. You're taking that, right?
Well, that gives you a few months to look for a replacement job,
Like if someone
right?
told you, Casey, we'll pay you for 7 months and you don't have to come to work here. Taking that, right?
I don't know.
I mean, it's 7 months to do nothing.
Right? But then what are you going to do in the 7 months?
Well, you
is
have 7
over?
months to find something.
Yeah. And
Your
that's
husband
it.
is a high-ranking government official now. He could help you.
Yeah. I think the average time it takes is 3 to 6 months to find a job. So, yeah, you'd have to be busy. It's not like you're just twiddling your thumbs during those 7 months. You got to be working
Yeah,
on
I'd probably at least
landing
twiddle
the
for
next
2 or
gig.
3 months. Think of all the fun you could have.
Yeah, that's true. Would you do it? You do it.
Oh, no. But mine's different because I'm here for spite. I'm here to make people down the street miserable. That's 80% of my existence. It's not about the money to me. It's about that I have a job where I can earn a comfortable living and just screw unmercifully with the people at 200 West Washington. You can't put a price on that. You can't put a price on that.
So it's called the Deferred Resignation Program.
But if I worked a regular job, yes, I would take that.
And the emphasis is on reducing the number of federal workers.
Yeah.
Downsizing.
7, I mean, okay, so again, you got to factor in the pension and all the things that are associated with working with the federal government. But in terms of just a regular job, if someone told you for 7 months you get paid to not work and you could just find another job, yeah, why wouldn't you?
It's like being under contract, right?
Yeah. I mean, this is
They
what
say, we're going to uninvite you. They still have to pay out your contract.
I mean, like if I were ever to get fired from here, they would have to pay me for a while to not work. But again, my joy of being here is far greater than any sort of monetary compensation.
Well, did you see? That reminds me of the NPR salaries that were reported, where some of those people who are hosting shows are making over $500,000 a year.
Yeah.
And
that
then,
wild?
yeah, do you know any radio host who's making over $500,000?
Well, we've talked about that. Like with our industry, there's some major issues that radio has done a phenomenal job of just hiding its head in the sand and not addressing issues for 25 years now. And that's why the industry collectively, while we're doing very well, the industry collectively is in trouble because you have these slighted salary scales and what people are making and what the tippy top guys are making. And they're not producing anywhere near what that would warrant. I mean, a lot of these companies are losing money every year, and you get these people making ridiculous salaries to lose money for your company. That's unsustainable.
So this was in regards to the NPR getting these $500 salaries.
Why does NPR exist?
Well, they claim that they only get 1% from federal grants.
But why do we give any money to a radio or television company? How many television stations are out there now? How many radio stations are out there? There's zero need for NPR to exist. Whether it's 1%, $1, $1 million. Why would we give any money to a radio station, the government, when there's all these other radio stations out there that do the exact same thing or can do the exact same thing?
So Brian Baker posted something on X, and he said, how many radio hosts actually how many radio hosts who actually turn a profit for their employer earn $500,000 or more. And somebody had tagged you and me and Hammer and Nigel and Tony Katz and said that we all do.
Sure.
And possibly Matt Bear brings in a cool million. And I just, that is hilarious.
No doubt.
You are so funny. But back to Donald Trump.
Hey, by the way, they told me because I'm feeling ill, I did not have to go to the all-staff meeting today.
Oh, the 1 o'clock all-staff. Well, that's good.
My heroic effort to even be here was, and Matt, our boss, had a great comeback. He said, if somebody questions, I will just say, did you hear him today?
Right, exactly.
The fact that I'm here, this is like a Jordan-esque type performance to even be here.
This is the flu game for you. Yeah. Well, nobody wants you spreading your germs around the pizza.
You don't want me anywhere near your pizza.
Kevin is highly motivated by the pizza. He's excited to go.
Oh, yeah. It's a good compensation.
Kevin is a 29-year-old man who is in such financial straits that the opportunity of getting like a slice of free pizza will motivate him to stay an hour and a half later.
Yeah, just keep your germs away from my pizza.
That's right. Yes, very good.
So the American Federation of Government Employees, yes, that's a thing, they said that the buyout offer from Donald Trump is just a pressure tactic aimed at pushing out loyal career employees.
People, right.
And isn't that the key?
Moochers.
The career employees.
Cab Calloway wrote a song about him. It's called Minnie the Moochers.
Oh, yeah.
So we have a new Secretary of the Treasury, Scott Bessent.
That's the gay guy.
The final vote was 68 to 29.
But we have to point this out. He's the one who is gay, right? Is he the openly? I think he's. I'm trying to be insulting or smart. And because everybody's like Trump hates gay people, remember,
right? Except for one of his cabinet people.
Gay? What is he? What's his position again?
He's the Secretary of the Treasury. So that means we're no longer going to have Janet Yellen, the world's worst waitress at a greasy diner.
Yeah, Bessent makes history as Treasury as highest-ranking LGBTQ official, the Hill. So I guess Trump doesn't really hate gay people.
So that's not true at all. And right now you've got RFK.
He's a gay billionaire.
Oh, so obviously he knows how to handle money.
That's right. Not women, but money. He's not very good with women.
So maybe,
but he knows how to handle money.
He'll handle the money for the country, right?
I mean, doesn't it just put in perspective the ludicrous? Trump hates gay people. Trump is anti-LGBTQ. Trump this, Trump that. Like it's just ridiculous.
Except for now, one of the most powerful people in his cabinet, right? And then you've got RFK Jr., who is right now being grilled by 2 separate confirmation hearings.
I saw the funniest. What are they called? Are they memes? Are they GIFs?
Yeah.
I showed it to you guys. It's the video of RFK. He looks like he's in a prison yard somewhere. This is like a legit video.
Well, that's from when he was in California on the beach, and he was in his jeans without the shirt, and he was lifting weights.
Oh, I noticed you went right to without the shirt. I noticed that was just like that. Well, it's a famous video. It's him. She's right. He has his shirt off. He's lifting weights. And instead of lifting he's doing the bench press.
Yeah.
But instead of the weights, he's bench pressing the 489-pound rapper who couldn't fit in the automobile.
Dank,
yes.
He's pushing up Dank.
So that's hilarious.
Well, he is appearing right now before the Senate Finance Committee, and then tomorrow he's going to appear before the Senate Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions Committee, and they're questioning.
He's getting twofer.
Yeah, he gets a twofer, right? So him, I don't know if they're gonna say yes to him.
Somebody will go down. Whether it's him or Gabbard, I don't know. One of them's going down. They're not going to let Trump get all of these. See, this is the hilarious thing, though. These people in Washington always say they want bipartisanship. They always say they want working across the aisle. They want cooperation. And then Trump nominates 2 Democrats, and all of a sudden everybody's up in arms that the fact that he nominated 2 Democrats. They don't actually want bipartisanship. They just don't want people from outside of their club being a part of the thing, which is what Hexeth was all about.
Did you see his cousin, RFK Jr.'s cousin, put out that video and said that he's just a narcissist who just wants attention?
Oh, it'll fit perfectly in Washington.
But what does that say about her? She's putting out the video saying, look, this is what he's doing. What is she doing?
You mean the Kennedys are a bunch of self-absorbed narcissists who don't care about anybody? But I mean, that's laughable, right? Her concern is that he's very self-absorbed. Like he's very about himself. Like, look at the 100 people that are going to judge whether he gets to be in this cabinet position. It's the United States Senate. There's no more elitist, lack of empathy, sympathy, caring about their fellow man than these people, and they get to judge whether someone's qualified or not.
So regarding the federal freeze, the Trump administration put out a note because there's a lot of squabbling about what this is going to affect. And they said no program that provides direct benefits to Americans is explicitly excluded from the pause and exempted from this review process.
Great.
So they're arguing. And the Deputy Chief of Staff, Stephen Miller, he was correcting the record about this pause on government spending.
So let's just walk through this because obviously there's confusion. Is this pause going to affect Medicaid?
It does not affect any service that the government is required to provide. Does not affect any entitlement, does not affect any service to citizens, does not affect any individual benefit, any public assistance program or anything of that nature.
Okay, so that's
very glad for the chance to explain what's going on here. In fact, I could actually give you some backstory I think you'd find very useful, Jake. So we found after the president had issued a pause on funding to NGOs that were settling illegal immigrants, we found that bureaucrats at HHS were trying to funnel billions more dollars to those resettlement agencies and try to get around the executive order. It became clear that bureaucrats were still trying to funnel unapproved discretionary grants of funds to their pet projects. So OMB, led by Russ Vought, felt it was necessary to protect taxpayer resources to issue clearer guidance establishing for these discretionary grants of funding that are not directed by Congress, that they go through a political approval process at the agency.
So that's what they're saying. They're just stopping these discretionary spending dollars. It's not going to affect Social Security. It's not going to affect Medicaid. But another thing that they
So they're not going to solve any actual problems.
So what are they freezing exactly?
Well, right. I mean, you're talking about, again, drops in the bucket. It's fine. It's good. Every dollar saved is worthwhile to save. But let's not kid ourselves. Until you're talking about Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, you're not solving anything.
And then there was the revelation yesterday by the White House press secretary that the Biden administration had earmarked $50 million to buy condoms and send them over to Gaza.
A lot of sex going on there in Gaza, huh? I mean, that's a lot of...
$50 million worth?
Well, I mean, how many people are in Gaza? It's like 2 million, right?
Yeah.
So that's like $25 a person on condoms. Kev, what's a box of condoms run these days?
Let me check here.
I read that it was you could buy a large box. It was $74 on Amazon.
There's no way a box of condoms is $74.
Well, I said a large box.
Well,
probably like $10.
Well, look it up. Just look up what is a box of price. Just Google. You do it because I want to be on your computer, not mine. Price of a box of Trojan condoms.
Mm-hmm.
Trojan Pleasure Pack 12 count is $20.
So 20 for 12. So at $20 at 2 million people, that'd be 40 million. So they were basically buying every person in Gaza a Trojan Pleasure Pack.
Were they, or were they just saying that's what they were buying?
Well, that's the actual because that's only 40 million. If we bought, and that's retail. You know, you could get a discount. You're buying in bulk in the federal government. I bet there's some sort of bulk. So let's say at $15 for a Trojan Pleasure Pack 12 count. Is that right? Did I hear you correctly?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's $15. Let's say you could get a buy in bulk.
Oh, that was 20.
Oh, it's a 20 count.
Yeah, but you can get Trojan ends for 15.
Well, we don't need to buy anything fancy. We just need to buy the base condom. So what? Okay, a 12 pack of Trojan ends.
That's a well, that one's a.
This is not this hard, Kevin. How many condoms?
You're thinking
what's the price?
The pleasure one that was 12 count. That was $20.
Okay, very good.
All right, and then the Trojan ends. It doesn't say how many are in it, but I'm gonna guess it's probably box of 3.
Yeah,
15.
That's a bad value. I mean, I don't know what
that's not a good deal.
I mean, I don't know what we're protecting there, but that's it's like some out of the Naked Gun or something. But let's just go with the Pleasure Pack. I bet if we buy them in bulk, we can get a 12 pack for $15. That'd be 30 million for all 2 million people.
Yeah.
So even if we bought every single resident of Gaza, which the women I don't think would need them, last time I checked.
Yeah.
But where do
that's not how they work?
You see how? But I'm leading up to your point, which is. That money was not going to buy condoms.
Right. That's just what they're saying it's for. It is Kendall Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel.
The commander-in-chief no longer needs a diaper change. The commander-in-chief doesn't have to watch Matlock with pudding smeared on his face. We've got a commander-in-chief that no longer falls up and down the stairs multiple times. I'm excited for that. If anything else,
let's see how long it takes before Pencil Neck Adam Schiff to file some impeachment charge.
Hammer and Nigel, weekdays 3 till 7 on 93 WIBC and WIBC.com.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have health news, a CDC update.
Pneumococcal vaccination is now recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose. And millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
Blood, sweat, tears. At Bill Estes, we know it takes hard work and years of doing the right thing to build a business people can depend on. That's why we don't make empty promises and expect your trust. Estes earns it. From Ford F-150s and Toyota Tacomas to Ram 1500s and Chevy Silverados, we have the trucks you'll love at prices you can believe in. But don't just take our word for it. Your trust means something. Estes earns it. BillEstes.com.
Neighborhoods are popping up everywhere, but if you want something different than what you're currently seeing, Joyner Homes, based out of Greenfield, can build you a unique, custom home on your own private lot or anywhere you can bring your own builder. They've built hundreds of homes across central Indiana. Visit Joyner Homes Model Homes or go to joynerhomes.com to see floor plans and pricing and more. With Joyner Homes, you can even start from scratch if you want. Check out their 5-star Google reviews and visit joynerhomes.com.
Howard Bailey Financial is now in Carmel on Rangeline Road. For over 20 years, we've helped people navigate their retirement journeys, and now we're bringing our experience closer to home. Visit retirecarmel.com to schedule your appointment or text Carmel to 888-2621-104 to download a free retirement resource. Together, let's build the retirement you deserve. Howard Bailey Securities, LLC is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. Please see disclosures at howardbailey.com.
Book your custom patio project before March 1st and save up to $2,500. Indy Decorative Concrete, the patio experts. Big enough to service, small enough to care.
CNN anchor Jim Acosta announced he's quitting the network. This after he was offered a new late-night time slot.
Wait, he plays a Henry Lee Summer deep cut and there's nothing? There's nothing? You're like, great job, Kevin. I mean, who's playing other than like 3 Henry Lee Summer songs? Nobody.
Yeah, just paying tribute to the local heroes.
Friend of the show.
Right.
He listens to us. Remember, we had him on. He's like, I listen to you guys all the time in my car. Maybe he's listening right now.
Crank it up, dude.
Yeah, put it up. Cats plays whole songs. All right.
He's got a nice voice.
Here's the thing about Henry Lee Summer. You know, the thing about Henry Lee Summer is he was so, and he's kind of admitted this later as he's gotten older. By the way, Henry Lee Summer was a pretty good high school basketball player. I think he played in the state finals.
In Brazil, Indiana.
Yeah, in Brazil, Indiana. Yeah, Henry Lee Summer was a really good high school basketball player. But the thing about Henry Lee Summer, and I think he's kind of admitted this, is a phenomenally talented guy. And Kev, you'll appreciate this because you're a musician. The landscape is littered with this. Phenomenally talented guy. Just had a serious lack of self-control, and it ultimately derailed what was a really promising career. But in that brief little window where he kind of had it together, he still created so many memories for people, those songs that, live on forever and ever. So
he's hanging out in Brazil now, isn't he?
Well, I don't think he lives in Indianapolis now. He was from Brazil.
Right.
Brazil, in addition to being the home of the Honeysuckle Hill Bistro, which sponsors State House Happenings, also was one of the last KFCs that still had a buffet right there in the heart. I think they tore it down, though. I don't know if it's still, the KFC in Brazil still has the buffet or not. But that's, you ever eaten at a KFC buffet, Casey?
No. I don't think so.
You will. It's a really risk.
I've been to the original KFC.
Well, it's a risk reward. You will love it in the moment. Your insides will hate you afterwards. But it's pleasure town in the beginning.
You know Colonel Sanders, he's from Indiana.
That's right. I did know that. Yes. Yeah. What are you looking that up?
I looked up the buffet and I found their Facebook page, but it says the last time they posted about the buffet was in 2013.
Yeah. See, I think they tore that down.
Mm-hmm.
So Brazil, Indiana used to have a really, I forget the name of it, but it had a very nice municipal public golf course where anybody was owned by the Parks Department, I think, and the KFC buffet with the buffet was right next to the golf course. So you could go somewhat of a reasonable drive, play a very nice, affordable public golf course, and then go eat at a KFC with the buffet. You make a day of it. It was great.
It's delicious.
Yeah, but I think they tore that down, and I think the new KFC does not have the buffet anymore.
No.
Anyway, sorry, I know you weren't going there at all, but
no, I was completely not going to talk about Henry Lee Summer or KFC
or the buffet
or Brazil.
Now the one in Avon still had a buffet. I don't know. We could inquire whether that still has the buffet or not, because you could.
Somebody texting you right now.
Well, I'm getting a flood of messages, so somebody knows whether that buffet still exists out there. Oh no, it's Phil Sanchez texted me. That's also where my wife is from.
Oh, because that's pertinent information.
Absolutely.
Hi, Phil.
Hi, Phil. We love you. Phil Sanchez, the most beautiful man in all of Indianapolis media. You know what were we talking about? What were we doing?
We're going to talk about Jim Costa from CNN.
He's out.
Yeah, he quit his job. They offered him a new gig. It was supposed to be a midnight slot. Starts at 2 a.m. Eastern time, and he'd have to move to Los Angeles, and the show was going to air at 9 p.m. with simulcast on CNN International.
You ever done the midnight to 2 a.m. shift? You ever done a midnight shift?
Yeah, it's no fun.
So my first full-time job in radio, when we both worked for the same guy, not at the same time, was 2 to 6 a.m.
Yeah, that wrecks your life. It ages you a lot.
Well, it was perfect for me because I was, 21 years old.
You were a night owl?
You could go see your associates.
Yeah.
And then you could just roll into work at 2, and it was perfect. Then
you want to talk more about that? Say more words.
No, I'm just saying it made it easier to not have to commit to anything because you always had the very viable. See, the great thing about that job was you didn't have to commit to anything. You always had a reason to leave, and they could verify you were at work. Like they couldn't accuse you of pulling any sort of shenanigans because you would say
you didn't have to tap her shoulder and say, "Baby, I gotta
just
go."
turn on the radio dial. I'm right here. So it really was. What's the old saying?
That was before everything was pre-recorded, right?
Yeah,
so you actually had to be there live.
The guy in the office said this. I wish you knew when the good old days were, so you know you were living in the good old days. That was a version of the good old days. Kevin, did you have something? You just look like you were geared up.
I was just adjusting my mic.
Oh, very good. All right. Anyway, Jim Acosta. So, would you take a midnight to 2 a.m. shift on CNN?
Gosh, we have as many listeners as they have viewers.
Why no? But you could be on CNN.
No. Why would it? That's not like an enticement for me.
Airports everywhere would see you with the volume down.
That's I did TV. You know the thing about TV versus radio, you got to have your nails done. The camera catches everything.
What if you didn't care?
Like today, where you're not. You say you feel fine. You don't sound fine, but I know that you're recovering from a cold.
Yeah.
And you got resting sick face.
Do I look ill?
Well, you're not like smiling or, all the time.
I never smile.
Off the air. Yeah, but you can't hide that from the camera. So it picks up everything.
Okay, let's say I took that job. My deal is that I hate everyone. So I wouldn't need to smile, would I?
I don't know how that would play on TV.
Phil, text me.
It's all in the eyes.
Phil Sanchez, text me back. Would you take the midnight? Is the midnight to 2 a.m. gig on CNN better than Wish TV?
He's not going to take that. I'm betting he's not taking it. He's got family. He's got little kids here. They're doing the baseball, that whole thing. He's anchored here. He's raising his family. He's not going to uproot them to chase some gig for CNN.
Yeah, but CNN, here's the thing. Here's what I think, and I know we got to get to a break. But
he's not doing that.
For people of our age, I get that you're a little more seasoned than me, and Phil's kind of in the middle of us. You grew up watching CNN. There's some emotional attachment to that we could fix CNN. Oh my gosh, my midnight to 2
a.m. They're going to retool? They're going to rebrand?
Well, this is how the broadcaster, the narcissism of the broadcaster works. I could fix CNN. If I went in there, I could make it what we once grew up watching.
Yeah. Phil will tell you that it's all in the eyes, and even on, you got to smile, just occasionally.
But what if you're not a You're not
smiley guy.
What if it's a host, like you're interviewing people? Riley never smiled.
Well, look at who's that woman that they have? What's her
I don't
name?
know. I never watched
with the
it.
brown hair.
You know, the one with the brown hair.
She's on at 9 o'clock.
Great description. You'd be a wonderful witness in the commission of a crime.
I can't think of her name.
Caitlin Collins.
Yes.
Thank you.
I
was going to let you keep going.
You knew who I was
I know.
talking
I was
about,
just going to let you keep
but
going.
She never smiles, and that's one of the critiques people
She's
give
a
her
miserable
all the time.
SIAG.
Right. And that's why her ratings aren't good. It's like she's never happy, ever.
You think her ratings are bad because she doesn't smile?
I think that's one of the reasons.
Maybe she just sucks at her job, and she's a
Well, that too.
liberal.
And the content that she presents, not so good. We have to get to the news. It is Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Will he be confirmed? I'm Kurt Darling. Here's what's trending at 11:30. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. testifying before a Senate committee this morning as he looks to be confirmed as Health and Human Services Secretary.
Should I be so privileged as to be confirmed, we will make sure our tax dollars support healthy foods. We will scrutinize the chemical additives in our food supply.
Speaking of scrutiny, he's facing a lot of it from Democrats over his stance on vaccines. The Indiana Fever are bringing back a veteran presence for next season. The team announcing that they are re-signing Kelsey Mitchell. She appeared in 235 of the last 240 games played by the Fever and was a leading scorer last season in their first run to the WNBA playoffs in nearly a decade. Mitchell averaged 19 points a game last year. I'm Kurt Darling on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
It's like being trapped in a cage. And I know that sounds dramatic, but your breathing triangle problem has got you trapped. And once you're freed, you're going to be able to live the life that you're missing out on. Now, this can simply mean experiencing the true pleasure of breathing freely. It will mean better sleep and more energy. And the worry of this problem any more affecting your life is going to be gone. Because in almost every case, when Advent has solved a breathing triangle problem, it's a one and done. Because we're not in the business of delivering Band-Aids. We want to fix your nasal breathing problem for good. We don't want you to be a lifelong patient. We want you to be our next success story.
Isn't it time you break free from that cage? Take the next step. Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Breathe well with simple solutions. AdventKnows.com.
Results may vary. Most insurance accepted.
You still thinking job change in the new year? Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy. IT? Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI. That's what I did. Really? How? Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up. Sweet. Are classes online or on campus? Both. Wow, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Nobody cares for you like family. Family Heating and Air.
Hey, this is Malia. We often get asked when is the best time to buy, and the answer is today, not tomorrow. With rising utility costs, rising product costs, and missed opportunity costs, which you could be saving with a high-efficiency system. Give us a call today to schedule your free in-depth estimate, 317-577-8077.
Family Heating and Air is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Hey guys, it's Rob from my friends at We Grow Hair Indie. And if you are looking in the mirror and saying, man, I'm looking a little light on top, now might be the great time to get your confidence back. I know. I was in that spot 4 years ago, and I made the trip. I made the phone call, and then I made the trip to We Grow Hair Indie. And boy, I'll tell you what, it was a great experience all the way around. Darren and the gang, top-notch guys. And here's how it works. You call today, 317-522-2995. 317-522-2995. Schedule a totally free, no hassle, no obligation consultation. And then, Darren and the gang, they'll give you some suggestions on how you might be able to get your hair back. From there, it's totally up to you. You make the call. In the meantime, you can see some other folks who made the choice to head over to We Grow Hair Indie at WeGrowHairIndie.com. WeGrowHairIndie.com. You can see the results, some of their stories. Call today, 317-522-2995. 317-522-2995. Tell them Rob sent you.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Limited time. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
Why not start 2025 with a great new deal from Tom Roush Lincoln? Select 2024 Lincoln Navigators now $12,000 off and get 0% for 72 months. How about an all-new 2024 Lincoln Nautilus now $6,000 off with rates starting at 4.9% for 60 months. So start the new year with a new car from Tom Roush Lincoln in Fishers.
Lincoln Navigator MSRP 104,825. Lincoln Nautilus MSRP 61,695. Offers good through January 31st, 2025. Subject to credit approval. See dealer for complete offer details.
Nobody likes a cold shower. LD Smith has hot deals on water heaters. Save up to $300 on a new water heater install.
LD Smith Plumbing.
A dirty, stinking honest.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIPC.
6 and 7, they fought the Congo War.
See,
with their fingers on their
I got you hooked on it, didn't I?
Yeah, I'm really
Is this Warren Zevon?
Yeah.
I'm
Sounds like
becoming quite the Zevon fan.
It's the Kendall and Casey Show. I'm Rob. Casey's here. Yesterday, I don't even know how we got on this. Started talking about The Excitable Boy, which is one of the great albums of all time.
Well, Kevin played it as bumper
That's
music.
right. And I said, Kev, that's a great song. It's hilarious. It's about a cannibal. And nobody in the room had any idea that was what it was about. And I said, the great, I love Warren Zevon, but I said the greatest of the Warren Zevon songs is Rollin' the Thompson Gunner. And I said, Kev, you will love that song. And now you've been listening to it on a loop all for the past 24 hours.
Yeah, I love it. It sounds kind of like a traditional Irish song, where they're telling the stories about the battles and the hardships.
Revenge. Guy loses his head and blows off some other guy's head. It's great.
Are you like that when you get a song stuck in your head? Do you need to play it over and over again?
Yeah, sometimes when I hear a song for the first time, I'll just get obsessed with it and I'll just wear it out throughout the day.
I first saw that song. So when Warren Zevon died, he had a horrible battle with cancer, and he died in, I think, 2002 or 2003. Jackson Browne came to the Marat, and I went and saw Jackson Browne at the Marat, and he did that song I never heard that song before, and he was just doodling around an electric keyboard, and he did that song as a tribute. I was like, that's one of the greatest songs I've ever heard, and then thus catapulted my love affair with Warren Zevon, and now
you're passing that wisdom on to Kevin.
Now it's on to Kevin.
Kevin.
And so Kev you found the vinyl, right? You found the vinyl online?
Yeah, I found it for like $20. So
yeah,
maybe I'll pick that up.
Absolutely, and you'll get way more than $20 worth of enjoyment out of that.
That is true.
All right, we got to laugh at these jokers in front of the. We got to laugh at some of these jokers in front of the State House.
Yeah, you said people are protesting?
Who was this that posted this?
What are they protesting?
Well, this is ridiculous. There's times to protest. Hannah Adamson posted this. She's a Fox 59 person. So there's a bunch of people that
She's not protesting. She's reporting.
No, she's reporting on the protesting. They're like straight out of Central Casting that you would see protesting a State of the State speech. Can I read you some of the signs that they're holding up? Punch Nazis.
Oh.
What's this say? Solidarity has no border. Stop pretending your racism is patriotism. Resist fascist orders, and then there's a fist. Fight fascism. Stop Project 2025. This is what the protesters, some of them wearing masks, by the way, brought to the dance on the protest of Braun's State of the State.
Does it look like a big crowd, or is it like a smattering?
I would say there's maybe 50 people here.
Okay.
But don't you think Braun has got his State of the State ready to go, and then he's going to see Junior's sign here, and he's going to go, stop pretending your racism is patriotism. Oh, crap, I got to have a whole new outlook on life.
I'm going to have to change everything. Back to the drawing board.
Somebody organized this, and they were like, bring your signs that says stop pretending your racism is patriotism.
And isn't that, don't you want to know who organized that?
Well, that's what I would really like to know. And what is your goal? Braun is going to see your signs and then be like, shoot, they're right. Mass illegal immigration is great for Indiana. Let me backtrack.
They're just protesting conservatism.
I don't know. It doesn't say. It just says a protest is going on. It doesn't say what they're even protesting. Do they want him to intervene in the Gaza crisis, or what do they want Braun to do?
Yeah. Okay. Did you see that now there's is it 3 people that are in the running to handle the Democrat Party in the state of Indiana?
Yes. So you got
somebody else who threw their name in the hat for that.
You got Indiana Beto desperately wants a crack at it.
Since we're talking about Democrats, I thought I'd throw it out there.
That are complete goofs and regularly do damage to the cause they claim to be for. Destiny Wells. You got Jennifer McCormick. I mean, it was like the 2 people who got totally embarrassed were like, let me show you some more of what I can bring to the party. Then there's a former state rep is running, and then somebody else threw their name in. Who's the person who's voting for Destiny Wells? Who sees how she's done the last 2 elections against arguably the 2 worst people to ever hold statewide office in the history of Indiana? Like, she's never going to run against worse candidates than Diego and Rokita. And they're like, sign me up for some of that.
She launched a new website for it, too.
Oh, well, hot dang. How about that? What is it? I'mAfailure.com?
It is, it's Wells for Indiana.
Oh, well.
A state party chair. She says the Indiana Democratic Party stands at crossroads with the opportunity to make transformational change.
Oh.
And, she launched it. She put it out on X, and all of the comments were, well, I mean, you can imagine, very polarizing.
You ever notice how these goobers always use these big words like transformational change? People don't want that. You know what people want? To be able to afford to live in their home. You know what people want? Accountability in their public schools. You know what people want? Roads that actually function. Like, these are the things they don't want. It's always these big ideas. People don't want that. People want their government to work in an efficient, effective manner. Like, why isn't the slogan, Republicans suck at running efficient government, I'll change it? Like, that would be the slogan.
Straight to the point. She says that everyone is a recruiter. She wants to recruit leaders ready to drive progressive change and take bold action. And another one of the bullet points is stop eating our own.
Stop eating our own.
You could also say stop killing our own.
You ever notice, did you ever encounter this when you were growing up? This is a youth sports thing. Kev, maybe you encountered this person. The person who wasn't really good at anything but wanted you to believe that they were the best at everything. Like in recess at basketball, you would always, I've been working on my new moves, man. I got this, I got that. And then you would play them and they would just be always on the losing team. That is Destiny Wells. She keeps wanting you to think she's the best at everything when she's not good at anything.
She wants to rebrand, reform. What else is on here? Oh, that's it.
I mean, it would be one thing if you came in and said, man, I've run twice for statewide office. I outpaced all my other fellow Democrats. Like, I almost got it done. I did great. We're so close. If we just used she got like 40% twice. 2/3 of the people were like, no, thank you. Like, we see what you're offering.
How do you pitch that? You're saying, okay, I lost twice, but you should pick me to be the state party chair.
Well, you notice she doesn't want to address that because she's a perpetual loser. I mean, the best thing for our show would be if she gets it. See, this is what I'm torn on. Because if she were in charge of the Democrats for the next several years, that would be the absolute best thing for our show. However, as I've said this many times, I want the Democrats to do better because that would start to hold the Republicans accountable. But if you have a person like this running the show, you're never going to be remotely competitive. Government is pretty simple. People don't want transformational change. They don't want this progressivism spread across the state. They're like, I'd like to afford to live in my home. I'd like to be able to drive on roads that are remotely respectable.
And then for the most part, just leave me alone.
Yeah, it's like if you campaign
Get out
on
of
those
my
things,
life. Make things cheaper.
Probably win a few elections.
And then leave me alone.
But I just wanted to make sure that everybody knew that there are some people holding some signs down the street from us at the government center. And you better check your racism at the door, Casey Daniels, because that's not patriotism.
Well, I have to drive by on my way home. So maybe,
if you ask that guy
maybe I'll honk.
If you ask that guy holding the Project 2025 sign to name one thing in Project 2025, could he do it?
Probably not.
Like one specific bullet point.
That's just a talking point. It's fear-mongering.
And they have no idea. Absolutely none. And this is his hilarity about their hysterics, is they don't even know what they're talking about.
I mean, for that matter, I thought my rights were supposed to be taken away.
Well, I thought you were supposed to actually lose your reproductive organs. I thought Trump was going to extract them from your body.
Right?
Did that not happen? You still have everything's still up there?
Yes.
Okay.
We're still good.
Okay, it's amazing.
Thanks for asking.
Well, he hasn't gotten to you yet, Casey. You should probably go run and hide.
Yeah.
Because you're next on the list, no doubt.
I hope not. Okay, so Abdul is going to join us coming up.
Yes, we're going to talk about state of the state, talk about what he thinks they're going to see. I think he's been to every one since 2005, so he knows a good state of the state when he sees it.
Hopefully he'll see one tonight. It is Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
Johannesburg. Rolling the headless Thompson gunner. Rolling the headless Thompson gunner. Rolling the headless Thompson gunner.
Tonight on the Tony Kennett Cast, after Governor Braun delivers the state of the state, we break it down here just for you. No syndication, just for WIBC. See you at 7:30.
You know that Andy Moore Ford is the place to go for your car, for your truck, for your SUV, or your electric vehicle. And now you know that Andy Moore Ford is the only place to go for your commercial and fleet vehicles as well. Business owners, listen to me. You've got a fleet, right? You got the work trucks, you got the work vans. I don't know the configuration you need, but Andy Moore Ford knows how to make it happen. At Andy Moore Ford in Plainfield, they have got the biggest Super Duty inventory in the whole state. Over 100 Super Duty trucks are on the ground and ready for you and your business. And you could save thousands on medium and heavy duty commercial trucks because Andy always gives you more. Andy Moore gives you more. It's funny, but it's also true. With an expert team and a fast turnaround, they know how to keep your business moving. Talk to Andy Moore Ford today. Medium to heavy duty F-Series trucks, they've got you covered. Andy Moore Ford in Plainfield, 2713 East Main Street in Plainfield, or online at Andy Moore Ford, MOHR. I love Andy. AndyMooreFord.com.
Attention Indianapolis Medicaid members. If you need assistance with daily living, you can receive a free service from Freedom Care in your own home from a loved one who lives with you. With Freedom Care, you decide who provides your daily care, helping you with preparing meals, bathing, laundry, transportation, and more. A family member or friend that gets paid instantly. It's all through Medicaid, and as an Indianapolis resident, it's 100% free to you. New to Medicaid? The Freedom Care family will guide you through enrollment, making it stress-free for patients and caregivers. With over 7,000 five-star Google reviews, we've perfected at-home care for Medicaid members and caregivers. If you live in the Indianapolis area, this service is free to you through Medicaid, and with our InstaPay app, caregivers can choose to get paid instantly. So go to freedomcare.com or call 463-232-7342, 463-232-7342, 463-232-7342.
Freedom Care, we're here for you.
Hi, I'm Charlie Comer from Comer & Cross Premium Garage Floor Coatings. If your garage floor looks bad with stains, cracks, and pits, it makes your entire garage look bad. And a bad epoxy job or chipping paint makes your garage or basement look worse. With one quick call to 1-800-NEW-FLOOR, I can save you $1,000 on a new Comer & Cross garage floor or basement floor during our winter sale. A Comer & Cross concrete floor coating is the gold standard. Guaranteed. A Comer & Cross garage floor won't chip, crack, or show tire lift like epoxy or paint ever. What's the Comer & Cross difference? We make it so easy. We move your stuff out for you. We fix the cracks and pits perfectly. In one day, you will love your gleaming new Comer & Cross garage floor or basement floor just in time for spring. Call us right now for $1,000 in savings during our winter sale. Operators are standing by now at 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. That's 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. Or go to COMERcross.com.
Hi, I'm Ken Mears, founder of Great Healthworks, the maker of Omega XL. Folks, if you're searching for an answer to your daily aches, pains, and soreness, then try Omega XL. It's a natural product sourced from a green lip mussel. This oil extract is one of the most powerful, natural joint relief super oils in the world. This one-of-a-kind extract is not found in any other product, and it's backed by over 40 years of clinical research, showing that Omega XL provides relief from joint pain due to inflammation. Stop living in pain. Inflammation is controllable, it's manageable, and it's fixable. Importantly, Omega XL is small, easy to swallow, with no fishy aftertaste. And it works. We've put over 20 years into this quality brand, ensuring that Omega XL makes a difference in your life. Try it, and you won't be disappointed.
Call now for Omega XL's BOGO special, 800-607-2604. That's less than $20 a bottle. Remember, there's a 60-day money-back guarantee. Terms apply. 800-607-2604. 800-607-2604. Or OmegaXL.com/news.
That's are us. When dreams don't get in, that's are us.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel, plus low to no monthly payments. Call 765-545-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to that'sareus.com. 765-545-BATH.
That's are us. When dreams don't get in,
Addiction. It's hard on those who struggle with it, but those who love the addict need support too. Matt Baer and Ryan Hedrick provide help and hope with Supporting Sobriety. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and on WIPC.com.
Riding on the city of New Orleans, Illinois Central, Monday.
State of the state is tonight. How's it going to go? Let's talk to a guy. You've been to everyone?
Just about everyone. I think it's like maybe like 1 or 2 in 20 years.
Yeah, because you got here, what, in 2004? Is that right?
Yeah, I had my first State of the State in Indiana in 2005.
That was Mitch Daniels' first State of the State. Yeah, it's Abdul, and obviously Braun's big speech is tonight. Do you get excited for these anymore?
I'm always sort of cautiously optimistic, slightly pessimistic. It's like, okay, been here, done that. Okay, the state of our state is strong. Yay!
Yeah.
You know, applause line. Yay! I want to thank blah blah blah. I want a big round of applause to blah blah. Let me tell you about Sister Ethel of the First Church of Corinthians in Brownsburg, Indiana.
Yeah.
She gets up every morning and feeds the homeless. Blah 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 blah. Yay! Yeah. So it's a lot of pomp, a lot of circumstance. Now this will be interesting. Whenever it's the governor's first State of the State address, whether it's Mike Braun's, Eric Holcomb's, Mike Pence's, Mitch Daniels. There's always a little excitement because everybody's sort of like, okay, what's the new governor going to lay out with his complete agenda? Now we'll get a briefing later today, and the briefing's embargoed till about like 6 o'clock to sort of give us a preview of
they give it to you.
Yeah, what's going on? Because
but you can't tell nobody.
Right. That's always been sort of the agreement, and to date, no one has ever broken that agreement.
No kidding.
To the best of my knowledge.
So what are you looking for tonight?
I'll be looking number one to see. Obviously, my big issues are obviously the budget. Healthcare, property taxes, and what I call issue X. Issue X, that one issue that always kind of pops up around Valentine's Day, between Valentine's Day and spring break, that throws everything out of whack.
Yeah.
So I always kind of look for some sort of clue in the governor's State of the State address. Is there an issue X in there, or is it going to come a little bit later on?
But he won't get into that tonight.
No, not tonight.
He told Hammer and Nigel yesterday, I'm keeping it short, I'm keeping it sweet. Good move?
I always said brevity is always the hallmark of a good presentation. The question is going to be how short and how brief it's going to be, because if it's 11 minutes, that's going to throw a lot of TV stations out of whack.
Go into that, because you had said on State House Happenings, hey, there is some sort of organization to this because it's televised.
Yeah, because it's televised and broadcast on Network Indiana, you have to get the satellite signal right. So here, test the lines, the whole 9 yards, and you have to give them a start time and an end time. Because use that end time is about 7:28-ish Central Time or Eastern Time, and so you got to coordinate all that, and so all that should be going out a little bit later this afternoon on time in the whole 9 yards.
So we got into this with Merritt earlier because he sat in 30 of these. Have you ever seen a lawmaker walk out and be swayed by a state of the state? Like, did somebody walk out and go, "Well, I was on the fence, but man, he got me tonight"?
I've never seen that happen. I have seen some things happen. I remember Mitch Daniels did this when Mitch Daniels delivered his first State of the State address. He called for a penny increase in the sales tax, which was 7%, give or take. I do the math. In order to eliminate Indiana's budget deficit and some other things, lawmakers all freaked out. Like, this Republican governor, first time we run the government in 20 years, and he gives us this blah blah blah. And so they came up with another plan. But Mitch Daniels knew that if he threw a tax increase on the table, they'd all freak out and go bat crap crazy, and then they'd go along with his other plan, his other proposal.
It's interesting you said that, because especially in the modern era of Facebook, and which really didn't exist when Daniels was first in office, social media, et cetera, that's political suicide today. But Daniels came at it from the approach of, I don't need to be here. I don't care. I'm going to do what's right. And if what's right is to get a plan, and I got to make this bad plan go out there to get a good plan, I'm willing to do that.
Yeah, it was perfect political jiu-jitsu.
And you do wonder, like with Braun, because he's threading such a needle with this property tax stuff, if that's sort of the stance he's taking, because they've said property taxes are going to be the central focus of the speech tonight, or one of them. And so you do wonder, is he going back to that Mitch Daniels playbook?
It'll be interesting to see what exactly Braun unveils. Like I said, we'll know this afternoon what's going to be in the speech, but it's embargoed until, like I said, 6, 7 o'clock this evening. So it'll be interesting to see what exactly does Mike want to do with property taxes. What's the impact going to be on local governments? And what's the impact going to be on bonding and all other things that property taxes pay for here in the state of Indiana? So I'll be definitely keeping an eye on what is Braun's property tax proposal plan, because now he's got an opportunity to explain in more detail. It's not just something written on a cocktail napkin.
Abdul is with us. So one of the things that is another hot button topic, and you and I got into this on State House Happenings with Merritt, is this road funding. And Jim Pressel has this bill out. Look, you've been around longer than I have. To me, taxing Amazon is you're taxing people. They're going to pass it on to people. But doing anything that goes after Amazon is a complete non-starter.
Well, but once again, though, the Amazon trucks and vehicles, they use the roads just like everybody else does. Now, the question is, should they be taxed more than everybody else is? That is a public policy discussion that I think is a debate that's necessary. However, I will say this, because I spoke to Jim the other day. We're going to get together and talk about his road funding plan. But once again, what's introduced 9 out of 10 times is not what ends up when all is said and done. It's like the speaker said, don't look at us where we start, look at us where we finish. And he probably threw all that stuff in there. Everybody's going to freak out like, okay, everybody's freaked out for a few minutes. Now let's go have a rational conversation to figure out how we pay for our roads for the next 8 years long term.
Is there a different mood or feel in the State House now that Braun is in there? Has anything changed in the first couple of weeks?
I think everybody's still they're still sort of kind of in that there's sort of that pre-post honeymoon phase.
Uh-huh.
It's kind of like being married to your wife or your spouse for about a month or so.
Yeah.
You're like, hey, I love you too, blah blah. I like you. You're okay. Then blah blah. Then it's hallway sex is F you as you walk through the hallways. But it like I said, they are.
I didn't think we'd get a hallway sex reference on the program today.
I think
what
they're
a way
still
to go out.
I still think they're getting to know each other a little bit more.
All right. What are you working on this weekend?
We got our Indiana Issues radio program. We got our Republican, Democrat, Libertarian. Our good friend Jim Merritt will be part of it. Brad Kloppenstein.
And Kloppenstein.
Yeah, exactly.
How exciting.
Just how about Save the State, big issues, and everything that's out there.
All right. Abdul keeps you buzzed. Find him at indypolitics.org. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's going to do it for us today. Thank you for tuning in. Great job, Casey. Great job, Kevin. And stick around. Tony Katz coming up next. Kendall Casey Show, 93 WIBC.
Is credit card debt ruining your life? Did you know you have a right to settle that debt for much less than you owe? DebtBlue has helped people just like you resolve millions of dollars of high-interest credit card debt. They can help with payment relief, the burden of rising inflation, and have a large portion of your debt wiped clean. If you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt, a free 10-minute phone call could save you thousands. Discover how to reduce or completely resolve your credit card debt. In fact, we are so sure that we can reduce your debt that we offer the DebtBlue Success Guarantee. We don't get paid unless your debt gets reduced or resolved, so there is absolutely no risk to call. For your free debt resolution plan, call 800-908-6355. That's 800-908-6355. The call is free. The consultation is free. The more you owe, the more you can save. Call now. 800-908-6355. That's 800-908-6355.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Limited time. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
The Suburban Indie Home and Outdoor Living Show
returns to Grand Park February 7th through 9th.
Find inspiration from over 200 exhibitors, artisans, and crafters.
SuburbanIndieShows.com.
B is offering 1 bath remodel for as low as $99 a month, or get 2 bath remodels for as low as $249 a month. Call now to schedule that free in-home design consultation.